Hello and welcome to this Roll with Lag stream. Welcome one and all, where we are going to be playing the Hyperlight Drifter tabletop RPG Playtest edition. So, I may look like a very cute bunny right now, but I am in fact a human. My name is Cameron. My pronouns are he, him, and I am going to be your game master tonight as we dive into this playtest. And I'm going to introduce our players first, beginning with the fantastic and the curious Lo.
Oh, that's my social media name. You tied that in. Hello, my name is Lo. My pronouns are she, her. I will be playing a little deer woman named Cassadel. That's why I have these antlers. And future sunglasses. Aesthetic.
And throwing it over to the hilarious and curmudgeon Moz.
You don't want to work my social handle into that, Ken? Come on.
I did. It's Moz.
Well, I do stuff, so you could have maybe done. Hi, I'm Moz. My pronouns are he, him, and I am the coolest, kind of like future bard. You know, like we've taken a bard, we've taken it to the future. I'm just playing a bard again. It's a bard. I'm playing a bard again.
Do you know what the bard's name is?
Oh, yeah. Let me just remember that from my memory. Robette.
Oh, yeah. And finally, introducing our very special guest, the game developer for the tabletop RPG Tidebreaker, Nick Butler. Hey.
Hey, what's good? I'm Nick. Follow me. Follow my blade on Twitter. Tonight we'll be playing Hendrix. I'm a big old dog assassin.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It's cool.
So, before we jump into tonight's game, I want to give some quick housekeeping. Is that what you say? Housekeeping? First of all, big thank you to Metal Weave Games and Andreas over there at Metal Weave Games for being such a help. Obviously, they let us do this stream of their game, which is still in play test. But also, I've been over on the Discord as I've been trying to plan this game, asking questions and looking for things. And they've been really helpful. And I just want to shout them out. So if you want to try this game out yourself, this is, of course, is a play test. It is still in development. You can go over to the Metal Weave Games website, which we will get in the chat as soon as possible, and you can check it out for yourself and maybe even pre-order the final game. So when it comes out, you will have the final game. This is going to be everyone here's first time playing this tabletop RPG. As such, as I've tried to do as much research as possible and read through the playtest, I might get some things wrong. But we're just going to try and have fun. And but if you want an accurate, up-to-date idea of what the actual rules for the game is and how to play the game, I highly recommend checking out the website, checking out the playtest, because that's going to be the most accurate version of the game. This is just our attempt at playing it.
I appreciate you going out of your way to cover up any screw ups there, just right at the start.
I'm covering up me. I am. One of the things that we did because we thought it was fun, but again, not 100% sure if it was in the game. Is there's kind of a point buy system, and we thought it would be fun if it's not only can you spend points, but you can also sacrifice stats and become worse at things to gain points back. We don't know if that is actually in the system, but we thought that would be fun. So, but again, if you want to know the actual full rules, and there's a very comprehensive playtest book that you can check out. It also has rules for maps as well. We're going to be playing Theatre of the Mind today. So, with all that said, let's jump in.
Well, let's jump in slowly so I can do my little bit of housekeeping very quick.
Oh, absolutely.
If there are any issues with the stream, audio issues, the audio not being balanced, maybe I'm a bit louder than the others or quieter, or visual glitches, anything like that, let us know in the chat. I'm able to fix that stuff kind of on the fly. And I think this is our first 1080 stream or 1080-60 stream, so it all could go bad. So definitely let us know if there are any audio or video issues in the chat. I can't see anything. I want to get that out right now before we get into the game. I don't know where the camera is. I think it's there. I think it's around about there.
I admire the dedication. The person running the stream has sacrificed their eyes for style. One more thing, actually, you did remind me by bringing that up. There's actually a streamers pack that was just put out recently. We were talking about getting assets for this. We weren't able to integrate the assets to our aesthetic.
That's from the pack, the logo. Obviously, you guys don't know what I'm
nice.
pointing at,
Yeah,
but the
I
people
don't
that are
know, I'm
watching
in the
this
Zoom call. But if you are a streamer and you want to stream the playtest, or even
Oh, wait,
I don't know,
it's that way.
is it this way, that way?
I'm
There
flipped.
is a brand new assets pack, and that is also available on the Metal Weave Games Discord and the website. Highly recommend the Discord, by the way, if you want to play this game. Super, super helpful people there. So, is everyone ready to jump into the game?
I am.
Hell
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so the world of Hyperlight Drifter. Echoes of a dark and violent past resonate across a torn and sundered landscape. Venturing outside the sanctuary reveals a savage land steeped in ancient lore, blood of the unlucky, and treasures of old. Around every corner can lurk danger from the vicious and warped creatures that will feast on your flesh, to the hidden hazards that will crush the frail bodies of the unwary. Our players are drifters, ones who venture into the ancient ruins, collecting forgotten knowledge, lost technology, and broken histories. So, we begin our scene at the edge of a cliff, this large mountainous region that last night the cliff was scaled by our group of drifters who are out searching for remnants of technology to bring back to the sanctuary, which is society, in hopes to improve life in this apocalyptic landscape. You need to look for technology and knowledge that can help. Our drifters scaled the cliff last night and are now, and then took a rest at the top of the mountain. And now they are slowly, all together, beginning to wake up. The embers of a fire that was lit last night. The first of our drifters to awake is, and I've already forgotten how to pronounce the name, so I'm just going to give it an attempt. Cassidel?
Yeah, man.
Cassidel.
I tried to make it as
Hell yeah.
phonetic as possible.
So Cassidel, you begin to awake, probably a very uncomfortable sleep.
Yeah, cracking my back.
Yeah.
Cracking my neck.
Could you please describe your character as you awake?
Yeah, so I'm a deer lady, and I put a little quote on my character sheet that says, "She's just a deer lady." Like, people see me and they're like, "It's a deer lady." I am let's see here, where are we? I am a wielder. That's the class that I'm playing. So as you look at me, you see that I have just all of these little pouches that have bits of technology, like wires and little pipes and stuff, half done bits and bobs kind of sticking out of them. I'm wearing kind of like a brown, just beat as shit, over, what's it called, a cape? Words. I've got some kind of goggly glasses on that approximate this sort of shine to my eyes. I'm just I look like very I look like how do I want to put this, like somebody from Silicon Valley was plucked, like a tech programmer from Silicon Valley was plucked and then shoved into a post-apocalyptic anthropomorphic animal world.
Fantastic.
Was she a deer lady before she was plucked?
Well, I mean, yeah, she's always been a deer lady.
Got it. Cool.
She's just a deer lady, as the quote says.
As you look out, you can see the journey that you took. It took about 9 or 10 days to get all the way from Sanctuary. You can see the glimpse of Sanctuary out, almost like a spark on the horizon. And you've tracked through many different biomes. You've tracked through swamps and forests to get to this massive cliff where you heard from a lot of people at Sanctuary there is an underground vault somewhere. As you wake up, you look at your companions, and one of them begins to stir. Hendrix, could you please describe your character as Hendrix begins to wake up?
So Hendrix gets up. He's pretty tall. He's a pure black greyhound. Just very sleek. He's wearing a very long brown trench cloak with a one of those like military bulletproof vest with like a lot of like pouches and things for like ammunition and like throwing knives and stuff. And on his hips is like two belts with
Nice.
two long swords in them, and like the down the middle of the blade is like where like you could tell like that's where like the little light saber part will go through. So it's like a hybrid sword, and he's got a very large carbine like on his back with a very thick like wooden stock. Like it's about as long as his face, which is quite long. He's grand.
Dope. So Hendrix begins to wake up. He's got his gun. He's got his two swords at his side and his like duster, and very, very wide array of styles and personalities here. As drifters, they travel in groups where each person has a unique skill, and Hendrix is clearly the muscle here. As you look over to the final member of your drifting party, who begins to awake, Robert, could you please describe your character?
Yeah, Robert is a man bunny, a bunny and a man at the same time, which is crazy but quite normal in this world. He's wearing a red coat that looks like it could be from a Star-Lord cosplay, but isn't. It definitely isn't. And he's wearing shutter shades, but while me, as Jack, wearing the shutter shades is very future, these are actually retro in the time this game takes place, because he just appreciates the classics, He visibly looks unprepared for everything, just everything that you could ever throw at him, but he has got one little cane with him, little walking stick that he's very obviously hot glued a knife to. Wasn't built like that, wasn't designed, he just glued it on and pretends like it's a special weapon.
Yeah, Robert has definitely got like old technology, like he's not updated. He hasn't got any light swords or guns or anything.
He might have not known those were a thing when he was rolling his life.
Is
So you travel with a cane and a canine?
Ooh.
Yeah. It was a natural pairing.
As you were saying, like all these groups of people that are traveling together, like everybody has a role except for Robert. Like we're kind of confused as to why he's with us. We're sort of like, sure, cool cane, bro.
I imagine that like Robert in Sanctuary probably did very well for himself and seemed super confident, because Robert is the Versifier class, which is
I'm glad you said it before I had to.
like you mentioned, is kind of the charismatic socialite class. But so you probably brought Robert along to be like, oh yeah, he's gonna get us through lots of doors. But you've been trekking through swamps and wood and fighting, bloodthirsty animals and stuff. Robert hasn't been useful yet because
no, he's complained a lot. You always know when a journey's tough because he won't stop mentioning it.
And he might have knowledge of some ancient artifacts and stuff, but you guys have kind of pulled Robert along, so he's never been able to show off his skills until you've reached the top of this mountain now. And you feel like you're pretty close to this unknown undercover vault that has been rumored in Sanctuary. So you all awake at the cliffside. You see further in to this mountainous terrain. There seems to be some kind of structure and a maybe what could look like actually, let's do our first roll, shall we? Let's do let's do an awareness check, which is an exploration roll. So all of you are welcome to roll me awareness if you'd like. The way this game works with rolls is our players have thresholds. They have a higher threshold, which if they hit or get above, that is going to be a fortune, which is kind of like an amazing success. If they're within the middle of their threshold, that's temperance. That's a success, but it's not quite a success. Maybe there's some consequences. And then below is judgment, which is going to be, yes, you might succeed, but there is going to be a big downside. So
I have a feeling we're about to see the first consequence of Nick's incredible choice while making this character.
Oh, natural!
mention that this is a D20 game and that's all you use.
Absolutely,
Is
yes.
D20s.
And making my life easier, the GM never rolls. So first of all, we will start with Hendrix. Hendrix, as you get up, your blurry greyhound eyes, you kind of rub them, you look off, you see a dust flowing in the wind, and you look to where you think you're supposed to be going. And the rest of you look, and Hendrix seems to be looking off the cliff, the complete wrong direction, back the way you came. Did anyone roll in their threshold or above?
What skill did you say we were rolling?
It's exploration.
Cool. Okay, I think you used the ability the first time. Maybe I missed
He said both.
Oh, my bad. See, I should have read the subtitles, the convenient captions that are below this, then I'd have known.
I rolled below because I used exploration as kind of my dump stat.
Ooh.
But the reason I did that is that as a wielder, I can, I know a lot about like technology and stuff. So while I'm not particularly suited to survival type skills and exploration type stuff, I have a ability called Useful Prototype, which allows me to move any exploration skill to my manipulate discipline, which is kind of like your manipulate skills are like you're dealing with the technology. So
Yes.
So I get to do a woe, which is those like diamonds on the sheet, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna use one of my woes to change that to manipulate. And because manipulate is my thing, I just oh yeah. I totally succeeded. I only rolled a 13, but that is above my high range, so I
so you
critted.
get a fortune. Sorry, I'm still learning all the terms.
Yes, that's what it is.
Whereas Hendrix is looking out, you, Cassadell, my bad. You're looking and the sun is shining in your eyes. So you get a bit stressed out because you're not very good at perception. But the one thing you're good at is technology. So you take that woe point because you're kind of straining your eyes, but then eventually you do see glimpses of technology. So instead of perceiving the environment, you're looking at the thing that you know. You see these arching, it almost looks like arches. Getting these huge arches, but they're getting smaller and smaller as they go along. There's multiples of them, and they're kind of in twos. And you look, and at first what they seem like kind of man-made or maybe rock-like structures, you realize that it's this gigantic rib cage bursting out of the ground. It's a rib cage of something that, if you live in this world, you will have come upon a couple times, which is a colossus. These old, ancient, massive robots that are kind of fused maybe with biological technology.
Hell yeah.
Millennia ago, no one knows where they came from, but they were killed and died or maybe just fell asleep a millennia ago, and now their bodies kind of ruminate along the land, all asleep, all dormant, but making up some of the structure. What did you get?
Yeah,
Robert?
well, it would have been a good little moment for Rob there because he rolled very good on exploration.
sorry.
But that's fine. That's fine.
I'm showing off the system, Jack.
Well, I too shall show off the system, for I rolled an 18, which is above my green.
Fantastic. So you get also a fortune. Now, you're not looking for technology because you are using your exploration stat. You see past this ribcage, which you don't quite know what it is. You don't have that knowledge of technology like Cassadell has. But you see past kind of this artery that you think is just like rocks. You see there is a staircase, like an old... maybe kind of like the ruins of a staircase, but a staircase nonetheless that seems to be leading up further to this mountain range. And around the staircase and kind of around the rib cage as well, you see these kind of greenish blue crystals bursting out of the ground at different points. They kind of look like they're kind of thrusting their way out of the ground and growing. You've rarely ever seen these crystals before, but they seem to be kind of getting more and more frequent the closer to the staircase and up the staircase as well.
Do they look valuable?
I don't know. Let's have a check, shall we?
Remember you said we couldn't derail this, Cam?
hey, this is what this game is. It's rolling dice. All right. So I'll say that is going to be probably a social skill. So yeah, you know what? Roll me a negotiate check, because a negotiate check, which is a social skill, so you're rolling social,
Cool.
is going to be getting the best arrangement, price, or terms. So I guess that makes sense.
Now let me just call my shot here. I only really put points into social, so I'm not going to fail this. I failed this. No,
is the threshold like 5?
It's 7, and I rolled an 8, so I guess I didn't fail. But I
you didn't fail.
You know,
Okay.
it could have been better for the way I talked it up.
Well, this is our first middle of the road. This is our first temperance. So this is probably very pricey. You could probably get a lot of money for this, but you don't really know who would buy it. Like, it's one of those things where, like, for the right collector or maybe the right scientist, these gems probably would be very, expensive and lucrative. But taking it back to Sanctuary, you don't know anyone you think that would definitely buy it. So it is probably expensive, but there is a little bit of a hitch.
And just to check, showing off the game, this isn't an animal, right?
No, this crystal is not an animal.
Well, that's one of my skills I can't use then.
So you do, you do see that Hendrix is staring out into the horizon, maybe thinking of something, distracted. What would you guys like to do?
I'd like to see if I can see what Hendrix is looking at, but I've done a lot, so let Lo speak now, Jack.
What is Hendrix looking at?
You two kind of walk towards Hendrix. You can roll me empathy checks. So give me a social check, both of you.
Me as well, sorry.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, both of you can roll.
Social.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't fail
What's
2
the
in a
tall
row.
one? What's the tall one again? The highest? Like when you roll over the top?
Oh, sorry. That I thought you were talking to Mars.
No, sorry.
The tall one. So there's temperance and
Starts with an
temperance,
F,
judgment,
right?
and fortune.
Fortune. I rolled a fortune.
I also
Ooh.
rolled a fortune.
Fantastic. So, what would they see, Hendrix? What would they kind of perceive from you? Like, what mood do you think they see you're in as you stare out into the horizon?
Kind of melancholy.
Mm.
I'm like polishing my gun and talking to it.
That's a good gun.
She's family.
Oh. Does she have a name?
Caitlin.
Interesting.
Rob stands off to the side and, not wanting to be outdone, attempts to mimic what Hendrix is doing. So he'll pull out his staff and just like looking longingly into the distance, thinking about his life.
Stop it. I hate you.
Strokes
You
his
can
own
roll.
chin.
You can roll me a perform check, which is social.
I like how you were embarrassed enough by that to have it like really far down, but that made it even worse.
Oh, that's a nat 20.
Woo! Nice. Okay, so it's obviously
Doesn't
a
do
fortune.
anything in this game, but still.
It still feels good.
It's definitely a fortune, which is great. Yeah. So, Cassadel, as you're watching, you're speaking to this companion of yours who hasn't spoken much, and you're kind of breaking through. Your eyes drift over, and you see that your other companion, showing the same brevity, melancholy, stroking his cane with a knife sellotape to the bottom of it.
It's hot glue, Cam.
Hot glued, sorry, to the bottom of it.
Sellotape would be stupid. I wouldn't do that.
So yes, you all seem.
Well, I do believe that I saw some machines over this direction. If you want to, if you're done polishing your rod.
Rob bursts out laughing and says, "Yeah, there's gems and stuff as well. I want to go look at the gems."
Fantastic. So
I look over at Robert. Mimicry is a form of flattery I once heard. Your impression, though, not quite there.
Well, Well, maybe.
And then I just walk towards the direction of the Colossus.
Rob just kind of trips over his words a little bit, like, well, maybe you should do.
So, after this tense meeting, you guys head underneath this massive rib cage. You see that there's like nature is beginning to overtake this once metal technological structure. You see the vines are kind of finding their way up. But it doesn't make them any less unnerving. You know, you see these structures overhead hanging, and it's weird to see something so technological be integrated into nature in a way that is like older than any of you and any of your great grandparents. But eventually you do come to this set of ancient stairs, these ruins of a staircase heading up further to the peak of this mountain that you guys are traversing, and there do seem to be more common now, these crystals, these green crystals coming out of the ground. Would you like to just keep going up?
Can I like examine the kind of rib cage portion?
Oh, absolutely. Give me that. I think that is actually not going to be a wheel skill.
That's cool. I can just.
I'll tell you what. I'll make it a I'll make it a repurpose because you're not repurposing it technically, but this is librarian technology, and that is what repurpose is about. So could you roll me a manipulate skill, please, which is going to be repurpose?
I rolled a fortune.
Ooh. So you look at this rib cage, and now closer to it, closer than you've heard of these colossus, but you're getting pretty close to it. It seems that this one might be related in some way to the facility, this ancient underground facility that you guys heard about, because it seems to have these crystals kind of peering around it on the growing off the actual structure. So maybe whatever is linking this location is also something to do with the Colossus.
Mm-hmm.
The idea that, you know, you could find out where the Colossus came from is insane. That'll take like hundreds of years of research.
Yeah.
But you kind of slowly, as a society as well, not just you, but as a society, you're piecing together the bits of the past. And it's kind of one of the Drifters' jobs.
Cool.
Would anyone like to do anything else before walking up these stairs?
Can I spend 100 years researching the Colossus, please?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'll message you on Twitter every day and just make a new check every single day.
We'll get there one of these days. Tune into Rolling with Lag 100 years from now. We'll have our answers.
Fantastic. So
And the connection keeps up.
Don't jinx it.
If everyone is okay to, you guys begin to ascend these stairs. It takes you quite a while. You're walking for 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes. These stairs seem endless at some point. But eventually...
Rob complains the entire way. I won't subject you guys to that, but I want the flavor to be there.
Rob is just complaining, and you, Hendrix, you're looking out and you're starting to notice again these crystals becoming more and more common, and now you see pipes bursting up from the ground, definitely man-made, or I guess anthropomorphic animal made, whatever made them, like bursting out of the ground and going deep within, almost like they're coming up from something. Not as many. There's bits and pieces of these pipes, but they're not super common. You eventually reach the top, this peak. It's not a very wide peak, but it definitely seems like it's been leveled artificially. You see that there are more of these crystals, and off to in the center of the peak, you see that there's this metal square, quite large, about 20 foot by 20 foot. And actually sitting next to the square, you see a figure. See a figure sitting next to the square. He's got his own campfire there. He hasn't noticed you all, but he seems to just be waiting by this, making a little bit of food. You guys can roll me an awareness check if you want to kind of get a better idea of what this person is.
That's exploration, right?
Yes. Sorry, my bad. I should keep on top of that. That is an explanation check.
Nope.
Ooh, fail.
Okay.
Oh, we got the second one of the evening.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I held up a 7, but you get the idea.
You guys are looking, and this is definitely like humanoid of some kind.
Uh-huh.
Can't really
Yeah.
tell what species.
He's alive.
I don't even know what consequence I would give you guys, but I will
Can I
say,
tell what color his coat is?
you think that he might be wearing your coat. That might be the low roll. You think that he might be wearing the same coat as you.
Oh, screw this guy. Let's get our coats back.
I will say, this game works a little bit different than just pass or fail. So you guys could spend like 10 minutes and eventually your eyes would adjust, or you guys can go. It's not a complete failure. You guys can go a little bit closer if you wanted.
I'm gonna walk up a little closer because he's giving me a bad vibe.
Okay.
Seems a bit too familiar.
Yeah. So taking your role as the protector, you kind of step out in front of everyone else. You begin to walk closer. As you get closer and closer, you see the figure seems to realize that there's someone else here and turns their head. And you see this is a raccoon folk. There's a, it's got this wide raccoon face and seems to have these little hands that are working on something, a little bit of technology. And he looks up and immediately stands up and like puts his hand on what is clearly a pistol.
Cam, if you make us kill a raccoon, man, I will end the stream.
He hasn't drawn the pistol, but he's definitely holding it. You guys didn't approach stealthily or anything. He looks to you, Hendrix, who says, what are you doing here?
As I was walking up, my lip was starting to curl a little bit, but as he turned around and I realized who he wasn't, like I just go back to like a regular, like kind of just plain, not pissed off, but not particularly pleased faced either.
Absolutely. You see that the coat is actually different to what you thought, like with that low of a roll, but now you're getting closer, you see that it's actually a little bit different to yours. It seems to be older, kind of hand-me-down situation. And he looks up and he says, I don't mean any trouble. I'm not trying to get in your way. I'm just waiting for someone.
You're not the trouble I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. He kind of looks behind you. Are you drifters?
I'd have said something cool if you spoke to me first, just so everyone knows.
Okay. Well,
Don't pay attention to him. Everything he says is quite harebrained.
Rob doesn't get it.
Okay. Well, are you?
What was the question?
Drifters.
Yes.
Drifters.
Sorry.
Oh.
I was
Yes,
thinking about my
we're
response
drifters.
too much.
Yeah. We're
See that he begins to relax a little bit and kind of moves his hand away and goes, okay, I guess that makes sense. I don't know who else would be up here.
Who are you waiting for?
Roll me a yeah, roll me a empathy check if you're trying to do it like a little bit. You're not negotiating, you're like asking him nicely.
What stat
That's
is
social,
that?
right?
Social, sorry. I gotta get better at that. My bad.
I failed.
Okay, that's a judgment, is it?
I got
Yeah.
a 5. My crit's 5.
I also rolled a 5,
My bottom line's 5 too.
but my
Okay.
bottom line is 8.
Because you have a special feature, Hendrix, right? Where you can
Yeah, it's confidence. I use my combat as my my social.
Fantastic. Okay, so whereas he seems a little bit tight-lipped when you ask him that question, he looks over to Hendrix, and Hendrix there with his 2 swords and his gun on his back and his duster blowing in the wind, and you see he's a little bit intimidated, a bit awe-inspired by Hendrix, and he says, my father was a drifter like you. Kind of looking towards Hendrix. Him and some stranger he met, they decided to come here to look for technology, hoping to help the sanctuary, and he didn't come back. So I made my way here, hoping to follow him in about 6 months ago, but I was never able to get in. I'm not a drifter myself. I'm just a farmer. But I figured maybe I'd wait here and he'd find his way out somehow. But it's been months now and nothing. And you see, he kind of dips his head.
My eyes narrow and my nose flare up a little bit as I take a very deep breath. Like you can kind of see like the air like going like into my face.
Yeah.
Tell me about the stranger.
Oh, I didn't meet him myself. My father just told me that a stranger came into town. A little rough looking, but a drifter nonetheless. He said to my father that he was looking for drifters to come with him. He'd lost his own group somewhere in the froglands, in the swamplands, and he needed another drifter to help him. He was after riches and untold wealth, but my father was just looking for something to help Sanctuary, so they thought they could split a deal, and they would take half each. My father would take it back to Sanctuary, and this lone drifter would take it off by himself, whatever he found.
Swamps, you say?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You see, he looks towards this massive square, this metal square in the ground, and you see now as you're closer, Hendrix, it's got like these weird technological symbols, but there's definitely a seam, some kind of seam that indicates it might be more than just like a plate. Anyone could make me another repurpose check. That is a manipulate skill.
Yeah, I think Rob would click his fingers and be like, I've got this. Leave this one to me, team. Oh, I do got this, actually. What was the stat?
Manipulate.
Manipulate. Sorry, my bad. Well, I got the betweenie. I did the betweenie roll.
I see. So you got a temperance. What did you get, Lo?
I got a fortune.
Ooh. And Hendrix?
No.
Okay, so you're still staring at this raccoon folk as he's telling you the story. Meanwhile, the two of you begin to look at this plate. With a temperance, it's obvious that this is some kind of lift. This is definitely some kind of lift that lowers down into a facility of some kind. But with a fortune, you would see that this needs to be activated by someone who can wield technology. Someone who can wield technology psychically, almost.
Cool. Do I see like some sort of like control panel maybe, or?
Doesn't appear to be any control panel.
So I've got a...
Yeah, you do see that there is like lights and stuff on the ground.
Can I just like stand in the middle of it and see if I just like, does the spirit move me? Am I...
Yeah, you begin to walk towards it. What is Robert doing at this point?
Robert is checking the Twitch chat, which we try not to derail for it, but I think it's important to mention. We
Absolutely.
might... I don't know if we explained how the pass-fail crit system works. And now that we've started rolling a lot, we might want to take a second to explain that. Also, for anybody that's joining late, that might be handy for them to not be lost on... Because they can't see us rolling, it might be easier for us to explain it now as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, I mentioned it before, but I'll go a bit more in depth. So the way that it works is there's kind of a threshold that our players set. You get to move them around based on a point-based system. When we were doing it, we allowed players to kind of make themselves worse at some skills to have more points in other skills. We don't know if that's actually in the rules of the playtest, but that's how we played it. So you have kind of every skill, you know how good you are by a threshold of numbers, a lower number and a higher number. If you get below the lower number, it's a judgment, which is some kind of consequence is going to happen. It depends on the situation. The DM can get creative, but sometimes that could take energy or woe away from you. But that is kind of a failure, but you don't always have to fail in that situation. It just means that a negative thing happens. In between is called a temperance. That is when you get between the lower and the higher number. That essentially means that you are succeeding mostly, but with some kind of consequence, or maybe you didn't succeed as much as you wanted. And then above the higher number is like, yes, you did it. You know, it's maybe a crit you want to call it, but it's a success, an overwhelming success. And the players adjust those numbers depending on the type of character that they want to play using points.
To put it in vaguely D&D rules, if you're more familiar with that, we are essentially setting our own DCs for any challenge. So the GM isn't setting how hard anything is. It all depends on what we're good at.
Absolutely.
Which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I actually like it a lot.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really fun to, and it makes my job a lot easier.
I'll just pop a link to the game in the chat while we are talking about it.
Fantastic. Yeah, you can check it out over on Metal Weave Games, Metal Weave Games' website. So Robert, what are you doing as
Rob puts away his phone from the Twitch app, puts it back in his pocket after following Rolling with Lag on Twitch, of course. And then we'll basically what I was already doing, just click his fingers and start approaching the technology. Doesn't
cool. So you're both heading over.
Yeah.
Hendrix, you're kind of engaged in conversation, but you can leave at any point you want. As you both step on this this platform, it begins to bing, 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 light up in kind of like a cross, and it's like reacting to you stepping on it. And you walk towards the middle, and you see that Cassadell, more than Robert, it's reacting to your footsteps.
Yeah, it is.
And as you get to the middle, it kind of lights up and a beam shoots across. Instead of like binging open, it just a hard light glows. And you see that the raccoon folk kind of moves his gaze from you, Hendrix, over to the platform and says, "Oh, it hasn't done that yet."
Yeah, dude, that was me. All me. You're welcome.
Okay, roll me
Just stay back, leave it to the heroes.
Roll me a performance, a social check.
Cool.
Just ignoring Robert, I'm gonna like bend down and sort of like adjust my goggles a little bit and be like, "Oh, it seems to be some sort of elevator or lift that will take us down into the, I suppose, D elevator."
Yeah, it seems to be some sort of elevator. It's gonna take us down. Okay. I got the. I'm sorry to the devs. I haven't learned the words yet. I've got the middle one.
Okay, so you got a temperance. You can see that he
write
looks at you and kind of is like nodding a little bit, but also looking at the person who's also like studying the actual technology.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear from the way Rob walked over that he cannot see anything with those shutter shades on, so you should disregard anything he says.
You can make me an access check, which is a manipulate check, Cassadell, if you want to figure out how to activate this thing.
Oh, somehow, even with all I did to my manipulate, I rolled a judgment.
Okay, so this technology seems a little older than your studies will allow. You get the sense that you might not be able to figure this out by like actually accessing it and doing some kind of actual manipulation of the technology. You might have to actually spend energy points to just kind of pour your energy into this. I don't want to call it magic because it's not, but your manipulation energy into the lift to power it open. It kind of will be like overcharging it. So you're
I just like put my hands down on like maybe like a light or like a something that looks like it's an access point, and I just like infuse it.
How do abilities work outside of combat, Cam?
You can just use them whenever you would like, I guess.
So were I to inspire Cassadell, would just obviously checking the overlay, which would I hate these glasses. Hang on.
You don't have to wear the glasses.
Oh god. It's all gone bad. I can each ally in range regains 2 points of energy. So if I use that after Cassadell puts her energy into the thing, could she not lose any energy?
Ooh, absolutely, yeah. So you would spend the energy, Casadel. So you're going to spend 2 points of energy because it was
Okay.
because of this judgment, pouring it energy in. But then the inspiration talent that you accessed, how much would that energy would that give back?
It's gonna give 2, so it would be free. It will give me 1 woe
Fantastic.
point, but I'm full of woe.
Fair. You kind of.
Oh
you
my god, what's
pull
wrong
your-
with me? Sorry, hang on, wait. There we go. Sorry. I keep forgetting I have to keep my main monitor clean, and I keep just opening stuff on my main monitor. Ugh. When
Casadel,
will I
you pour
learn?
some energy into this lift, and as you do, you see again you don't realize that Robert has had all these skills. He kind of walks up to you. What do you say to inspire her?
Oh, I'd like to retcon it if I can, so that me shouting back, just mimicking what was being said, was funny, not annoying. That's why I'm taking this woe point.
So Casadel,
I like chuckle to myself, and like I'm filled with the mirth of my companion's joke, and it keeps me from losing energy.
Can you imagine if
Fantastic.
life worked like that? Like your Xbox controller dies and you can tell it a joke to recharge it. What a good world. What a fun world. I'd love it.
Hendrix, as you're kind of
We're playing this like post-apocalyptic world, and we're like, ah, jokes. They make the world runs on jokes.
as
Sorry.
you're no, it's totally good. As you're speaking to this this raccoon, your companions are kind of working on this thing. You're kind of looking out, protecting them, but also kind of gauging this person. And all of a sudden, very slowly at first, this lift begins moving down with your companions on it, and you're kind of off to the side talking to this raccoon. What are you gonna do?
Well, friend, if you ever run into your father again, tell him don't talk to strangers from the swamp.
Oh, okay. Well, if you guys are heading down, then maybe you'll find him. Just tell him that I'm waiting for him.
I'll let him know. But go home. I have this feeling you haven't quite earned those stripes yet, friend.
He looks down at this jacket, which
And I like turn around and just like kind of like nod like behind my back, and then I walk towards the elevator.
hell yeah. He looks down at like this clearly hand-me-down jacket, which you can assume now is probably his father, and he kind of nods to you and begins to get up. You walk towards the elevator, and cool as a cucumber just steps down as it's beginning to lower, and you're all now on this elevator as it begins to somewhat like unstable. Like you get the sense that it's kind of rickety a little bit as it begins to lower and lower down into this chamber.
And while we lower, I have a mechanics question that I
Okay.
think would be good to explain. So I got a woe point for doing that joke. It made me really sad when I told that joke. What is that?
So, the way woe points work in this game is really interesting because in a lot of games you have health and then you have like psychological damage or insanity in Call of Cthulhu and situations like that. Woe kind of works similar but very different to that in that when you take your max amount of woe points, instead of it like downing you, or driving you mad, what you do then is you roll a check to see if you are going to take all that stress, all that woe that you've built up. Is that going to inspire something in you, or is that going to kind of lead to some kind of consequence? Is that going to burden you? So you get to add a boon or a burden onto your character when you've hit that woe point, depending on the role. So building up woe is kind of a gamble because yes, it's stressful, but the idea is some people, they don't break under stress. They kind of thrive in it. So that is how that works.
How many woe points do I have IRL?
It's up to you. Wow.
Yes.
Don't leave it up to me.
How many stub toes can you take before you have a breakdown? That's how many woe points. If anyone from Metal Weave Games, if Andreas is in the chat, let us know what the 1-to-1 realistic woe point is.
And not really a mechanics question, but just to check, I like tick one of those boxes off on the woe area of the character sheet, right? Cool.
Yes.
The diamonds that are next to the word, like so you see dashes, right?
Oh yeah, cool. Okay.
And then there's like two big diamonds, so you have 2 woe if you fill it up. You'll have to make a roll.
Was it
This-
two?
A
I think it might
low
have been
roll.
one for that.
Low roll.
One part of this game that I do love is we were all talking about this in the session 0. The character sheet is fantastic. There's so much.
Oh yeah,
interactive things.
Andreas, that's somebody that's a dev on this.
Yes.
The character sheet is amazing.
So
I
good.
love it so much.
So, speaking of stress, as you guys begin to descend into this chamber, you see it's very dark. It's a very dark chamber as you begin to lower and lower down. And you see now lights pew, 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 begin to turn on. Yes, Robert.
Is it dark for me? For I am a rabbit.
There are no racial traits in this game. You can choose whatever race you want. You can be creative with it, but it doesn't give you any boons or bonuses. So,
Right, well, note for the devs.
well, I mean, one of the interesting things is like there was originally, I think, racial traits, but the idea of, constricting player choice in that way, it's just fun to be like, what animal are you? And then you
Yeah,
can build your
totally.
character from there.
I know.
So
No
make it be-
genetic determinism.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So you begin to move down and you see that lights begin to flick on, but these aren't perfect lights. These are kind of sputtering and blinking as you see that this facility is old, and you see those pipes that were bursting up from the surface before and now all over the walls. They kind of line the walls. Inside, this black liquid is kind of moving through them. You don't know if it's like draining from the surface or if it's being pushed up to the surface, because it seems to be going in lots of different directions depending on the pipes, and the pipes kind of twist and move in almost like an Akira type visual of like all these insane pipes, too many that you could even pick one out and follow it the whole way. And one thing that stands out to you is that the pipes sometimes are broken because crystals, the same crystals from the surface, have burst up through the pipes, kind of from the wall into the pipes and through, and out of these broken pipes spews this black ichor. As you begin to move down, eventually you feel like the lift is slowing and slowing until finally it kind of lands with a jolt on the ground, and the final lights turn on. You're in a small chamber, about 10 foot wide and 10 foot across. You see that it is the landing place for the platform. You look up and you still see the hole in the sky that the lift has left. And immediately in front of you, you see this large metal door that is slightly open, but it's kind of sparking. And there's a kind of a panel next to it, but it seems to be broken a little bit. It's as this giant this door not open wide enough for any of you to get through, but just open that you can kind of peek through if you went up to it.
I just like giggle and like run over to it. I'm so excited.
So the platform has barely even touched the ground, and you're just like, whoo! All my excitement sounds like Homer Simpson. You kind of run over to this panel, and are you trying to kind of take control of this panel in some way?
You know what? I wanna try and be a little more constrained. I've been traveling with Hendrix for a couple days or weeks now. I've seen how he's able to kind of like assess situations, and like in my own sort of like geeking out about all this technology and machines, I'm gonna be like, wait, no, I'm gonna like try and peer through the door to see if I can kind of see what's beyond it before I open it.
Absolutely. Okay, so you're welcome to make me an awareness check, which is exploration.
And more showing off of the game, I'm going to use my useful prototype thing. Well, wait. Can I use it? Can I use it after I roll?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to say yes.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to roll first and see with my abysmal exploration trait. Nope. So I'm going to use my useful prototype. I bring out this sort of, machine that I've concocted myself, kind of like, peer it in. It's taking readings of beyond the door, and use that to switch it to my manipulate technology trait, using a woe, which means I do have 2 woe now, so I'll have to make a roll. I don't know if and when you want me to make that, but I rolled a fortune now.
Okay, let
using
me
my
double
manipulate trait.
check about that woe thing. I'm not sure if is it 2 that you have to make a check?
I mean, that's how many I have. Am I looking at the wrong thing? I'm looking at on the sheet. There's like it says dashes, and then there's like the little sort of like
Yeah, underneath is whoa, and then
arrows.
you've got those little
There's like
diamonds that you can fill up.
tons of them, like the lots of them.
Yeah, I think you can spend. I might be 100% wrong. People in the chat, if you know this game better, I think you can spend all of those diamonds before you make a roll. I'm not sure.
So the one that's like on the same line as whoa. I don't know why I was doing the one that was next to dashes.
We're getting a
It's
yes from the
fine.
chat on that, Camp.
Fantastic,
my bad.
fantastic. Thank you so much, chat, for letting me know. Was that Andreas in the chat?
Yeah.
It would
Thank
make
you so
sense
much.
to fill in the one that is next to
Yeah.
whoa
actually-
and not the one that's next to dashes, but
It was actually Mr.
You know.
Tetsuban with that info. I'm very confused.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Andreas. So, okay, so you spend another war point again, straining to see through this gap. But you do see, with a fortune now, you see this room next through this door is larger, far, far larger. You see the walls aligned with those pipes again. This seems to be the aesthetic of this facility, but there are kind of wires going across above and even below. All these wires still, but hanging off them are pieces of automatons. You see an arm, you see like two legs hanging off a wire, you see this strange like robotic head hanging off a wire. And there are these wires, but they're static. They seem like they should be like moving, kind of.
I was
Again,
gonna say, is it like sort of like a factory, like
Yeah.
assembly type thing? Cool.
weird reference. If anyone's been to Galaxy's Edge, it's kind of like the Droid Depot where it's like moving
I
pieces of
have.
robots around.
Can we not talk about the outside lands, please?
For no
Think
reason.
about it, all right?
But yeah, it's static, it's stagnant. This factory seems to used to be moving all these parts, but it's stagnant. And the reason some of them are below is because the room is basically one large bridge over a chasm that you can't quite see how far the chasm goes down through this, but this large bridge goes across to another door. There are two more platforms in this room that aren't accessible from the bridge. Maybe there used to be some access to them and it rotted away or something, either side of the bridge. But in the middle of the bridge, you see the back of some kind of creature. This like somewhat humanoid, but bulbous, like hunched over creature, just green skin. And you see that the skin is actually the same color as these crystals that you've been seeing. And as you make that connection, you see as he's hunched over, it's facing away from you, kind of too far to hear anything, but he's kind of messing with something. You see out of his shoulders these giant kind of crystalline structures are kind of fused to his body, and he's got like a tuft of dark hair. You're welcome to make me a nature check, which I believe is survival.
Is this an animal?
You wouldn't know right now because you're not looking through the gap.
Okay. Describe it to me.
I got a temperance.
Temperance. Okay. This is definitely a creature that has plagued people before. You're not quite sure what it's called. I'll say that with a temperance, I'm still getting used to this system of like rewarding you, but also giving you some kind of consequence.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't quite know what it is, but you know of this thing, and you know that it's violent, and you know that it's
Okay.
mindless and destructive.
Okay.
Again, this is what you see through the gap. There might be something beyond this creature, but he's kind of blocking the bridge because he's kind of standing in the middle.
Fair. Okay, so I take my little like, I'm picturing like Star Trek, just kind of like like scanning the area. I put it away and I sort of like take a step back and I go back to my friends who I assume are near the elevator still.
Was it an animal? Was it an animal?
There's some sort of creature over there. I'm not really sure what it was, but it just kind of gives me like a vibe. Like, when you're just not like vibing with something, gives me that feeling.
I could try talking to it. I have a skill for that.
If you
Ooh.
guys
I
want
didn't
Skill
want to
too.
open the door before we sort of had a game plan.
Rob would respond Rob would respond with yes, but I can't do my skill after you do your skill.
Exactly my point. Click, click.
Rob trying to fit in will cock his staff. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
Oh goodness. All right, fantastic. So, what's the game plan?
Well, I do actually have a skill that might help with this. I have Armistice, which allows me to engage. As far as I understand, I can basically attempt to talk to anything before we fight. Like, even if it's hostile, I can be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Shut shades, let's talk.
Wow, I did not know you had that. Okay, interesting. Okay, so you have that knowledge.
Well, I could open the door first and then have Robert go in, maybe followed quickly by Hendrix, and then I can bring up the rear just to make sure that I keep the door open and that way if something goes wrong, not that I don't have every faith in you, Rob, but Hendrix is there to sort of have your back.
I wouldn't say no to the armed person coming with me, no.
So you're going to try and manipulate this door into opening?
Yeah.
All right, that is going to be a access check. So roll me a manipulation skill. Manipulation is a hard word to say, apparently.
Okay.
Cassadell, if anything goes wrong, keep the elevator warmed up.
I will.
That'd be cool.
We'll be back in a moment, one way or another.
Fortune. You guys affect these characters well.
My manipulate my fortune stat, I have to roll a 10. So like half the time I'm gonna get a fortune on, and then even just to get a temperance, it's only a 6.
Nice.
I didn't quite go as like balls to the wall as Nick did. Nick's stats are like Hendrix's stats are all like there's no in between. It's like you can get fortune or judgment, no temperance, and they're like really high or really low.
So again, I don't know if this is something you could do in the actual game, but we kind of were like, yeah, we'll do a point by system.
We're trying to break the game here. Classic
play
classic
test,
play
you know?
test.
The path of
Stress
revenge
test.
knows no half measures.
Hell yeah. You walk.
Ooh.
Hendrix just stands there silently until he has something insanely
Did you write these
awesome
down,
to say.
Nick? Did you plan these? Do you have a little book of one-liners off to the side you draw from?
Shit, now I improvise everything.
So Cassadell, you walk over, kind of click your fingers together, and I imagine like the Adventure Time gif with the deer with the fingers. It's really creepy.
Yeah.
And you just get to work on this little side computer, kind of moving wires together and accessing it, and eventually, with kind of like a hum, but not super loud, just because I want you guys to have options. The creature doesn't seem to hear it. It seems too far away. Have I done something silly?
No.
The auto captioning made a mistake. It was quite funny.
It's fine.
It's really good, but it's not perfect.
Apparently, you said breasts.
Yeah, just
I
as
don't
a
even
word
know.
on its own.
I bet that I said like best or yes.
Yeah.
And it just heard. My gosh, I'm gonna cry.
Oh, Miss Tetzman says these Hendrick one-liners are great. I
Yeah,
haven't
we're getting some love for the one-liners.
So yeah, this doorway opens and you can all now see this creature. The two of you who haven't already are welcome to make me nature checks, which is going to be the survival check. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to whip out one of my Rob one-liners. Is this an animal?
Constitutes an animal. I don't think it is. I think in this world, this thing would not be considered an animal. I apologize.
Okay, fine. There better be a wolf at the end or something, Cam. I'm going to kick off.
For the purposes of this game, are we animals?
I don't think so. I think you guys are
Okay.
humanoids.
Judgment's
Okay.
the bad one, right?
Judgment
Yeah.
is the bad one.
I got the bad one.
Okay.
What stat was it? Dan, get used to hearing that. That's the other Rob one-liner, by the way.
What's that?
What's that? What was I supposed to do? What?
This is a survival stat.
Survival. I did the bad. I did judgment.
Okay. You guys, again, you could spend some energy if you wanted to really rack your brains, but unless you do, you're not going to know what this thing is.
Honestly, don't care what it is. I just know it's an obstacle.
Yeah, absolutely. This creature, what was I going to say before that? Oh yes, there are animals in this world because in the game Hyperlight Drifter, the video game that the tabletop RPG is based on, there's I don't know if anyone in the chat has played it, but there is a dog that takes up like significance in the game. But yeah, so there are animals in this world. So you see this creature. Two of you, Hendrix, you know it's an obstacle, but you don't know what it is. Robert, you know it's something, and it's got an arms and legs and hair, but you don't know what it is. And Casadel, you recognize this as something that might be dangerous.
Rob starts to saunter over, just cockily, just walking over.
over.
And I'd like to use pigeon.
Pigeon.
Yes.
Because you explained to me what pigeon is.
It's a type of bird, Cam.
Oh, okay.
Also, a type of speech.
It is that version of pigeon, yes.
Okay.
Wow, picked the skill thinking of that joke. Didn't go well. Kind of wasted the skill, if I'm being honest. All right, well, I'm going to go with it anyway. Wherever I go, I'm able to pick up a handful of foreign words and phrases, and I can use them. So I would like to use my pigeon. Pigeon flies over, it looks at him, comes back, and whispers a few words of the language. Tell you what, Yai and Peak, if you could stop going online on battle.net, that'd be amazing.
Is that the notification?
Yeah, and it's happened and I thought I closed it. It's closed. It's not going to happen again. But just on Lowe's camera, Yai and Peak has come online. It's popped up twice now.
And
watching us
while you're
stream.
doing that, I suppose I'll provide a little bit of Overwatch.
Nice.
Nice, not a sponsor. Not sponsored.
Okay, so you're going to attempt to speak in this creature's language.
Well, yeah, I'd like to communicate to it. And I guess I'm also utilizing my armistice as well to have a chance to speak to it.
Okay.
And those are both free skills, I think. I don't think I have to use... Why am I looking? It's not like I can read right now anyway.
So what do you say in the language that you're trying to interpret from this creature that you don't know what the creature is?
Excuse me, mate. Do you mind if we just sort of scoot past? We're no bother.
As you say that,
only little.
because of your armistice ability, the creature turns around and freezes, confused. You see that it's got like these wide, vicious-looking eyes and these like spiky teeth. And it looks at you and it goes, you don't think this thing has a language, so you can't pigeon the language, but it is frozen for a second as your armistice takes place, and it's not attacking you right now. It's just looking at you like,
and Rob's like,
you see these kind of diamond shapes coming out of its back. And now that you're face to face with it, you guys 100% now recognize this. None of you have seen it because of your roles before, but this is a creature called a dirk. A dirk is this vicious kind of crystalline creature, this big bulbous creature that just like eats and destroys and attacks any living creature that it comes across. It's a very violent creature.
Rob looks
large for something named after a short weapon.
It's like a word, fun word. Rob, straightens his back, attempts to posture a little bit, and says, "You, let us pass." But there's no confidence in his voice. Like, even that was too confident for how Rob actually sounds in game.
Hell yeah! Well, you are a socialite, so let's roll. What is that? Intimidate. You roll me an intimidate social check.
Okay. 3.
Let us pass.
Let us pass, please.
You see, it looks at you for a second. And it begins to run. I need everyone.
Plan B.
I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative, which is going to be one of two rolls. You can either roll reflex or I believe it is resolve. I will double check the PDF now. Cool. But reflex is going to be what kind of skill is reflex? Reflex is going to be exploration, and resolve is going to be social. but I'll double check because I might be wrong about resolve.
Are we choosing which one to roll or rolling both?
I'm choosing which one to
Oh,
roll.
I'm going to go social.
Let me double check the chat because they might be
Same.
faster than me.
Doesn't matter. I rolled a 2, which is a fail, which is a judgment.
Here's, I guess, a mechanics question. Do you have to, I think this has already been asked if it has. I'm sorry. Do you have to decide what skill you're rolling before you roll?
We'll be kind with this one. We'll say no for now, but you might have to.
Okay. Just curious. I'm going to roll social regardless, but, you know.
Okay.
I suppose... Oh, God. I caught that before it rolled off the table. I suppose that's a stupid question because you'd always want to roll your better stat anyway. So
Yes. So the
that's such a
thing
dumb question.
The interesting thing about rolling an initiative is that most of the time you're not gonna add anything to it, right? Because there's not many pluses in this game. It's only if you have a specific trait, or talent or something that can increase your roll in reflex or something, that it's actually going to affect your initiative roll. Usually it's just a straight roll, doesn't matter what you roll.
Okay.
Okay, let me look towards combat, just because I want to get this 100% right. I apologize to the stream. This is the first time playing the game, so there is a little bit of...
That's okay. I can do some follow thank yous if you want some content.
Yeah, if we do some interact with the chat while we wait.
Yeah, thank you to all the people who followed during this. By the way, we've gained quite a few. I'll just go in reverse order. Thank you to TekmanGWJ, ndente, rossislegend. That's a stupid username. Mako Stan.
We know that person. We're not being mean to know.
I don't know that person. I just hate his username. Scaleless97 and 2 followers that happened before the stream. Mostly Happy Gaming. Thank you, Mark, and Light Productions. Thank you both. Really appreciate that. I know Ross is kicking off in the chat. But hey, yeah, if you're enjoying the stream and you want to see more tabletop RPGs with people, we have, people. Come on, people. You might want to hit that follow button, and we'll thank you during a point where Cam needs to check the rules.
Absolutely. So, yes. So at the beginning of combat, you're going to roll reflex or awareness. I was wrong. So awareness is actually going to be, I believe, a survival. No. Where is my awareness? Awareness is exploration. Okay, so they're both exploration rolls, but if you have any boosts in reflex or awareness, other than that, if you guys could give me your initiative rolls. So Hendrix, what did you get?
Got a 15, but that fails for me.
Nice. Look, again, this is initiative, so there's no successes or failures. We're just doing what order to go in. Cassadell.
2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Robert.
14. Sorry, I also forgot to count those. The other thing I did, the armistice, because that uses a resource.
Oh, I see.
Which
Cool.
just used all of that resource, so great use by me.
All right. So the way this game works is there are tiles, and right now, Robert, unfortunately, is in the heat. He is in melee combat with this creature, and on the outer side of the board, we have Hendrix and Cassadell. So you guys are kind of one square away. First of all, going up first is our protector, Hendrix. Hendrix, the way the combat works for the people in the chat and the people in the call is that you get one free action that you can spend. This is either to move somewhere, to attack, to use an item. You can use that action regardless. You can do another action on your turn, but you're gonna have to spend an energy point to have access to that action, and then you do it. So do an action, spend an energy point, then you get to do another action. If you want to take another action, you're going to spend 2 energy points, and so on, so forth, so on. So like you can do as much as you want on your turn, but eventually your energy is going to be so depleted that you're just going to, fall asleep. So what would you like to do on this first turn? You see that the Dirk is running up, trying to attack Robert. You were there already with your gun out, ready to do something if anything goes down. What would you like to do?
How quickly does energy replenish?
So the ways that you replenish energy is either by using a stim pack, or you can take a rest. There are other ways, like the inspiration that Hendrix is able to do, but it's generally the same as health.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna kneecap him.
Heck yeah. So Would you like to roll me an aim check, which is a combat skill?
Gladly.
We have had a slight correction from the chat about the combat too, which I think is important for people to be able to follow it. All actions do have a base cost, which I think is listed on their
Yes.
the part of the book that says that. And then I guess if you want to do a second action, it's like that base cost plus energy. Kind of like manifesting inspiration, but it still uses the spell slot to use D&D terms.
Yeah, so like when I'm saying like you're spending energy on a new turn, or have a free turn, the turn itself is free, but anything you do on that turn will have some kind of cost. So, for example, aiming with a weapon might take 1 energy to do so. It depends on the weapon that you're using. I believe that your weapon does only take 1 energy to spend. But yes, I will double check that now. Let me scroll down to combat actions. Strike, blast. Okay, yeah, here it is. Blast takes 1 energy. So to shoot, you're gonna have to spend 1 energy. What did you roll on your aim check, Hendrix?
Got a crit.
Ooh, nice. So you aim your gun, this massive gun that you have. What is your gun's name again? I can't. Is it Caitlin? Caitlin. So you aim Caitlin, look down the sights, and you shoot straight for this Dirk's kneecap, and poof, it blasts his kneecap out, and he is now crawling towards Robert. But it does a heck of a lot of damage.
That's the noise Rob made, by the way.
The bolt like soars past your face, Robert. It hits this creature in the knee. Would you like to take another action?
Yeah. And this time I'm going to shoot it in its face.
All right. So you have to spend another point of energy for your extra turn. And then when you shoot, you're going to have to spend an energy point to shoot. But you can make me another aim check to shoot in its face.
Yep. And that's another crit.
I love how you built this character.
My combat is 5/5. So first roll was an 18 and last one is a 7.
You see this creature is limping now towards you, Rob. You see it's getting closer and closer. You're backing up. You don't know what to do. You reach for your cane, and all of a sudden, whoosh, its head just explodes. Its head explodes, and it just, these crystal bits just hit the ground, and it slumps over, and it falls. It falls off this bridge, and you see that it falls and falls and falls and vanishes into the darkness, but you never hear the sound of it hitting the ground. Combat is over in 1 turn. Hendrix, as your gun is smoking, what do you do?
That is how the missus delivers her put downs.
Rob is speechless. I'm just very happy to be alive.
You've got like specks of like crystal dust over your face.
Rob like tentatively reaches into his like coat pocket and pulls out a little handkerchief and starts drying himself off.
I like so I've been standing by the controls and I kind of like pop my head out and I'm like, is it already over?
Game's good.
Fantastic. So you begin to wipe your face down. You see now, guys, you are in this long bridge across, and you see there's a door on the other side. Not as broken, this one. You look down on the ground, and the Dirk seem to be messing with something. You see there's this piece of technology on the ground, and off to the side of the bridge, you see these 2 platforms that seem like they should be accessible, but there's gaps, as if whatever was used to bridge the gap between what you're standing on and these 2 platforms is long gone. What would you like to do?
A passive skill that I think might be useful. My passive skill is teleporter, and I can use and easily find teleporters.
Ooh, okay.
With ease.
So
I don't know if that's helpful here. Like maybe there was like a teleport pad that like got us up to those things.
Now, luckily, you in the session 0, you were like, oh, I like this skill. So you know your GM's going to do that. You know your GM, if you like a skill, is going to put it in the game. So you're looking around at these 2 platforms, and there's this door on the other side. And you see one platform is like these boxes, these crates just stacked up. And it seems like these crates are probably supplies of some kind. You don't quite know. And on the other platform, there is this cylindrical glass pod, about 10 foot tall, just this cylindrical glass pod, but the glass seems to be shaded. And anyone else would think that this is some kind of like, again, maybe storage device, maybe some kind of sleeping pod on it, propped up. But you can tell this is the ancient technology that you've studied. This appears to be a teleporter of some kind. It's wide enough for about a group of 5 people to be inside.
I think Andreas is in the chat saying that it would take you to a random or unknown place in the delve. So I'm like, oh, maybe I wouldn't want to use that. I was kind of thinking that it would be like, but hey.
That's the thing. It's a teleporter.
Yeah.
You know that it'll teleport you somewhere here in this delve, which is this dungeon. You know?
Yeah.
You don't know where it's going to take you.
Right.
Could teleport us, to the end of the dungeon. We can all have an early night.
Yeah, good.
That's true. Okay, so I know that. Do I see any sort of like yeah, actually I don't think I can do anything with any of my like skills or anything. All right, so I see a teleporter up there.
Yeah, you also see this piece of technology on the ground, this weird piece of technology. But do you communicate that to your teammates? That there's a
I don't say anything about the teleporter. I'll go ahead and crouch down and
wise.
I do not. I there's stuff on those ledges, and then I start to like fiddle with the technology on the ground and kind of see if I can figure out.
Quickly and immediately distracted by the thing that was pointed at, and forgets that it could be anything he could fiddle with.
Okay, so while you are rolling me a, let's do a salvage check from you. So that is a manipulate skill. What are the other 2 adventurers doing right now?
This dice is going to jail.
Yeah, Rob's peering over the edge, trying to use his superior rabbit vision to see the floor.
Okay, yeah, you can roll me an awareness, an exploration check to see if you can see the floor. What is Hendrix doing after absolutely destroying this Dirk?
I am talking with the missus.
So the scene here we see is we see Robert looking down, like trying to figure out where the ground is. What did you get for that awareness check?
It's not bad. And that was exploration, right?
Yeah.
I got a tent pole is what it looks like I've written, but I know that's not what it's called.
You got a temperance?
Thank you. I'm going to correct that now.
You get the sense that this thing might not have a bottom. I mean, it definitely goes somewhere, right? It definitely has
the Dirk surely doesn't.
But that might not be as simple as a floor.
Put a hole in his ass.
That's a good question, actually. Have we cured it thud yet? Or is it
You've
still
not cured it thud. This may, looking through with your rabbit vision, which we established, I guess, you get the sense that this may be like, this goes so far, it might even like come out the other side of the earth.
Can I cast?
You might be wrong.
Can I cast pigeon on the ground for it to tell me when the Dirk hits it?
Again, I simply must remind people that there's no magic. So when you cast pigeon, all you're doing is talking to the ground.
Throwing a pigeon down.
You throw a pigeon down and it just flaps up and flaps away. You're like, oh, I was alive.
It was my pigeon. This delve's turning into a nightmare.
So that is what is happening there. You're staring down. You see that
staring down, chucking pigeons into holes. Cool. All right.
Cassadell, you're messing with this piece of technology. What did you get on your manipulate check?
I you might have heard me rage throw my dice into jail. I rolled a judgment.
Oh, I have a fantastic judgment here. Like I said before, a judgment doesn't have to be a failure. It just has to be a consequence. So you're like super fascinated by this. And the person who knows the most about weaponry is currently distracted, caressing and speaking to his own weapon. So he doesn't see you pick up what you don't realize yet is the hilt of a light sword. And you're kind of doing the Luke Skywalker thing. And you lightsaber. You activate this light sword. It's like a 2-handed light sword, and it goes right through your shoulder and deals you 3 points of energy damage. Not energy, sorry, health damage. So you take 3 points off your health as this lightsaber just quickly turns on and off, like Kylo Ren style in The Last Jedi, and goes through your shoulder.
You put that trap in for me, didn't you, Cam?
I don't know. I just put traps in, you know? It wasn't even a trap. It's just, you know, you roll a judgment. But you do, when that happens, go, oh, I know what this is. This is a light sword.
Darling, it seems that our time alone has been cut short. I have to go take care of our friends now.
See, he puts his gun about.
You said 3 health points, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sniff the air a little bit, and I go, cauterized flesh. Casado, did you not see the on button?
I did, and I pressed it because I wasn't sure what it was, and I wanted it to turn on so I could see what it was.
Who are you, me?
Success, I would say.
A few
My
years ago, my wife did not
hypothesis
have an on button. I wish she did, but in your case.
What a terrifying way to reveal your backstory.
It's like, well, this on button still works. Rob, what are you doing?
But it doesn't look like you're getting along as well as me and Kate do.
Rob's kicking the dirt, whistling, pretending he didn't hear any of that. He's thinking about other stuff.
You all get this painful insight to the terrible backstory that must be rocking Hendrix's mind at all times as he looks at this light sword. And you can add a two-handed weapon. I believe it is called a two-handed weapon to your inventory. Cassadel, is it a two-handed?
Yep. Yeah, I've already got a one-handed weapon. I'll look up what the two-handed weapon stats are.
Oh, fantastic.
So, can I take a moment to like help her out a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. You can kind of figure out this weapon together, figure out how it works, so you guys have like no more accidents together. I won't make you guys roll for that because one of you is really good at technology, and the other one, you do have a high manipulate as well, Hendrix, and also you are a fighter. So together you kind of look at it and you're like, okay, this is actually how you turn it on, and it's not going to spritz again. One thing that's interesting about this weapon is, unlike all of the technology in this, I'm not going to make you roll for this because this is super obvious. Unlike all the technology in this delve so far, this seems modern. Or at least somewhat modern. This is definitely the technology that you would find in Sanctuary. This is a weapon that a lot of drifters like you guys use. Maybe not something that you guys use specifically. I think that none of you have two-handed weapons, but it is something that you could buy at a local.
Caitlin's two-handed.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, but this is like a melee weapon. And you see that like this is strange because everything else in this dungeon has been old and ancient. Would you guys like to? I'll allow everyone to make this check. This is going to be another Robert speciality here. Would you guys like to make me a? Is it actually social? Sorry, Robert. I got you excited then.
It's his only speciality, Cam. Come on.
I thought it was social, but I don't think it is. Catastrophe awareness track. Yeah, okay, we'll make this. Tell you what, I'll bend the rules a little bit because I think it works both ways. You can either make me a empathy check, which is a social skill, or you can make me a awareness check.
Social it is.
Exploration check.
I'm sure I have a thing for empathy. Isn't that like an emotion humans have?
Yeah,
judgment.
Apparently.
I mean, not judgment. The good one.
Oh, you got a temperance.
Fortune.
Fortune. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
using another useful prototype and expending another woe point, I shift to this to manipulate.
Fantastic.
Probably could just use that same useful prototype to like scan.
Yeah. I get you.
This feels like an obvious question, but I'm going to ask just in case. If an ability has a passive like addition to it, like it has a passive effect, invoking that passive effect won't give me woe?
I don't believe so. I think passive just is always happening.
Yeah.
Just tell me that it's happening, you know?
Okay, cool. So when I use empathy, which I've literally never done before, I can reduce my fortune threshold by 3. Wow. So I'm
nice.
gonna invoke that. And social, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. Well, I rolled a 1.
Oh, no. All right, how low is that, though? How low is that? Because you could boost it, which we haven't talked about yet.
I'd need to boost it by 9 to get, because it's 13 now, so I get 10 off because of the skill, taking it down to 10.
So,
oh wait, whoa, no, I'm. Oh no, it brings down the fortune. I was right. Yeah, no, that's 9.
you might not want to do this, but you can spend 1 point of energy to boost it by whatever your nerve score is. Now, I believe your nerve is 2.
My nerve is 1.
Okay. Would it be nerve or grit? I think it's nerve. So you could you could dump all of your energy points into this to get it up. I would not recommend it for this check because your allies are already.
No, I think I'll leave that one.
But that is something that you can do in the game. If it's a check you really need to do, you can spend energy to boost your roll.
I always love systems like that in tabletops. Like, it's a cool, like, control your own destiny sort of thing, but at a cost that you might need it later. Like, you know, it's the same with inspiration in D&D. Like, it's a real cool mechanic of player choice. I like it a lot.
Absolutely. So, did you guys? I know we got 1 fortune. What did you get, Castel?
I got a fortune as well.
Cool. Okay, 2 fortunes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I used my useful prototype to shift it to.
So you're both kind of looking at this sword, realizing that it is modern, and you're thinking about how would it get here? And you were thinking about, the child, the kid of the up at the top, the farmer whose father was a delver. You think about how this is a delver's weapon, using your empathy and you're both using different skills to kind of stand in for social. You're looking at this weapon, Cassadel, and you're thinking about the technology and how you know the shop this was bought from. It was in Sanctuary, and you're using just your raw combat knowledge to know. If the Hendrix, you're using your combat knowledge to know that if the light sword dropped here, then probably, and you look to the side and you think this drifter was almost either just getting in or just leaving this delve, and something might have happened that might have been to do with that Dirk 6 months ago. But yeah, you guys look down at this, you look at the door ahead, the rest of the delve in front of you, and that, my friends, is where we're going to take a quick break. So that is halfway through our Hyperlight Drifter stream. We will be back very shortly. What are you guys thinking? We're thinking maybe come back 5-2?
That would be a 10-minute break, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for everyone watching, when the stream timer hits 1 hour 55, I got that wrong on a previous stream. We'll be back roughly around then. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break, and then we'll be back with some more Hyperlight Drifter. So stick around. There's going to be loads more, and there'll also probably be a little plot recap after the break. So if anybody joined midway through and is a little bit lost, you can get caught up during that recap.
Yeah, but,
got the word in the end.
Post your questions, by the way, because we might do a little bit of a chat interaction before we jump right into the game after we come back from the break. And also, I want to take this time to, again, shout out Metal Weave Games for being a massive help in me building this game, and also allowing us to live stream this playtest. This game is in playtest, but you can pre-order it over at their website. And another shout out to our wonderful guest. Thank you so much, Nick, for coming on, and we're excited. Obviously, this isn't the end. I don't
Did you play that was an ending line?
Yeah,
right
it was an ending kind
line.
of like, I don't mean it's the end, but in the break, if you want to check out, Nick has his own tabletop RPG that you can see him sporting on his hat. It is Tidebreaker. Do you want to tell us a little bit about Tidebreaker before you go for break?
Yeah, Tidebreaker is my game, obviously. It's like she's put on the spot, huh?
Yeah, right. You really threw that ball to quite suddenly.
I
wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, but Tidebreaker is a cinematic tabletop RPG. It's somewhere along the lines of like Fate, but if you had more like what I like to call a la carte options. So if you've ever played like games like Big Eyes Small Mouth or like GURPS and things where there's like lots and lots of things that you can pick and mix and match together to build your characters. Yeah, it's cool at giving you a lot of power, but without having to be too complex. The characters are all like explicitly hyper competent, like anybody that you've ever seen in like an action movie or a shonen anime or like superheroes and things. Like the system does that very well.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're early access to pay for the art and editing and stuff before I get to announce the Kickstarter. So it's $15. You can check it out on the website. It's tiebreakerrpg.com. We have a Discord. The link is in my bio. If you follow me on that, follow my blade on Twitter. Come by and say hi.
Cool. We'll be posting the links, and Andreas in the chat also, the dev of this game, Hyperlight Drifter, is also going to be answering questions during the break. So get your questions in, and hopefully we'll be back. Well, hopefully we will definitely be back for part 2 at 5/2.
So to reiterate, when the stream timer hits 1 hour 55, roughly around about then, we'll be back. But enjoy some highlights while we're gone.
You're on your way to prom?
Look, just get in.
Okay, fine. And I like open the thing and I sort of like sit in the passenger seat and I'm like, I don't want to touch anything. Like I like close the door and I'm
This is the important question though. Do you have to do the passenger seat shuffle where you're like grabbing the trash that's in there and like throwing it to the back? Or is cash more clean than that?
It's that, but it's just like the quiver
for
like
weapons.
the arrows.
You're pulling that just like there's just like more.
Yeah, it's like
stuff.
like there's of course one boxing glove arrow, which I think is the closest thing I have to a logo. Like just don't mind these. If by the way, if you ever need arrows, like I know a guy.
I mean, I just like shoot venom, so I don't need like.
I mean,
weapons.
you say that, but like the venom might run out one day. Do you do you know how to throw a punch? Yeah, I don't know. I've never had powers.
I can kick very high.
Okay. See, that's a good first step.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of try to gather all the confidence, like do my tie up way too tight. And I'm just going to like stomp over there back and be like, hey.
His voice cracks.
hey. And I'm going to try and stand up for something.
Yeah, is there I don't have that on my the stuff that I printed out.
Stand up for something is an adult move, so you can't.
Oh
actually
yeah,
do it.
it's an adult move.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
I think the basic equivalent would be like
directly engage a threat?
Probably
I don't know, that's not really a threat. Defend.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Cool.
I think that'd be the equivalent.
Yeah, so there'd be a roll plus savior.
Savior. Oh no. What's my savior? It's 0. It's okay. Ooh, I got a 10.
Wow. So how does Sid stand up for himself and for his friend?
He kind of like his voice stops like his quiver and he's like, listen, Joy is really nice and I know I'm a cake boy and I'm uncool, but she was trying to be kind, so you guys just gotta stop or I'm gonna go get the history teacher and my friend Cash, and they're really close with us. The history teacher's weirdly close with us, and we're gonna come.
This poor guy arrested. Jeez.
Jeez, Louise.
You better
say that.
Weirdly close with us.
This is gonna be a weird investigation next year.
So, just you're all fucking mean.
And as the pieces like put to the ground, you see them kind of disappear. And the ceiling is actually still intact.
What?
How? Illusions? Okay.
Yeah, Grimm's pretty smart. Yeah. I was hoping for I thought there was going to be a little bit more debate about that. You nailed it on the head immediately.
Grimm has watched a lot of movies where the villain has used illusions, so he kind of like.
Well, and then also like Grimm's, got kind of psychic abilities, and those two kind of are like very much in the same vein. So I think probably Grimm would be very able to like catch that of just like, oh, okay, I know what this is.
Yeah. So I think, okay, I don't entirely know how they're doing this, but it might also have to do with illusions. Maybe the people fighting are seeing other things. I don't know, but we need to take this guy out.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure this table isn't an illusion because I literally just hid under it, and I'm gonna grab the table and just throw it at the stage.
First of all, you guys are up to 3. You have another point in team because of that successful defend.
Ooh,
Okay.
And give me unleash those powers, big boy.
All right.
I don't know why I said it like that, Lauren. Don't give me that face.
Wow, with freak, that's a 14.
Oh my god!
I rolled a 6 and a 5 plus 3.
What does this look like? As this large cement man boy just tosses a table at this dude who's like annoyingly, obnoxiously like doing air horns and is like.
I think after I'm saved by Ibis, I just turn, I give him a nod, I say the line, and then I'm gonna grab the table, but I want to like spin twice with it in my hand and then throw it like a discus.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, discus toss. That is awesome. So that like hits and knocks this guy on his ass as he gets up, and immediately you see like this nice like gelled hair is just kind of like going a little wild. And he's just like, you piece of shit. And he's going to lash out with one of his condition moves as he is angry now. I can mark that condition down. And he is going to...
We're playing masks.
We're playing masks. We're playing masks. So I was like, all right, cool. But like, you know, that senior liked it. So I mean, like, cool. But
Oh, Cash? Yeah, he's cool. We're friends, I guess.
oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. You really should get them to one of our parties, because that would be so cool if we had a senior at one of our parties. But like, how are you? Are you like good?
I hate when you do this voice so much because it's like so good.
It's my go-to. I know it'll frustrate you voice, and so that's why I go. I'm
gonna turn to Joy and I'm gonna say, this might be a bad idea, but do you trust me?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna grab you and throw you up at the T-Rex with my super
At the T-Rex?
Yeah, so you can like jump onto its back.
I think would we meet halfway when I would go to your place, would you come to mine?
Yeah, I think we definitely like we have like a spot between our residents that we like meet up every single time.
I would like to posit this, that I'm trying to ride a bike while holding the cake. So I've got a cake in one hand, I'm trying to ride my bike.
Do I like see him coming in the distance?
Oh no, 100%. You can just see like, I like that match is one of those like, it has a basket on the front, but the cake is too big for the basket, so you still have to hold it.
Most
it's like kind of like rickety.
Most
the wheels
aggressive.
are like. Go ahead.
It's like the worst like Spider-Man 2 Pizza Time energy, just right here, and it's terrible. I think I also suit up. I feel like in my years here, I probably have like 7 different like dead drops of just places I know I could just go run
like under
to,
the bleachers.
Yeah,
got, like,
I was about to say.
multiple.
Like, is it one of those bleachers where there's like a little, like a thin enough gap that like you could run through? Because I think it's literally like just for. It's run back there, run out the other side, fully in costume.
Yes.
One quick motion.
Yes, like there might have been like some teens being dumb teens under there that I like sort of bunny hop over, like excuse me, and like just keep it moving.
And it's like it's like a little insert shot if it's like a cartoon of you like leaping over with like half of your shirt like on.
Exactly. So first time I use each piece of gear to directly engage a threat, unleash powers or defense on yada yada, I can roll mundane instead of the normal label. So I'm going to directly engage a threat using the piece of cake I took earlier.
Yes.
Yes.
So
cake coming in clutch. Just go.
So if you want to end our session with maybe an announcement of, I think your guys' team name.
It feels.
If you all want to decide that.
Yeah, about to say it feels really egregious to call us the champions, but.
I mean,
I like it.
I don't think anyone would be against it.
Yeah, no, I think then since I do have the mic, what's the name of the school? Did we ever say?
Halcyon High.
Halasan
Yeah.
High. Yep.
Yeah.
Halasan High.
Gotcha. So, thank you everyone at Halcyon High. You just got your butt saved by the champions, and then like I probably have some sort of firework arrow, just notch it in the air, and it shoots off. And then I just say, now enjoy the rest of your prom. And I think I just go run back to my spot, and I'm just normal dressed again.
Oh, looks like we've got a couple party crashers here, everybody. Turns on an air horn.
That's not what I what's your name?
Like, you know what? I think I see a couple of sus individuals here.
No.
And so we need to take them out. And as you see,
I swear, man, I was in electrical. I swear.
Okay. I bet. And he looks at the watch and he's just like, okay. And he's just gonna get under one of the tables and just take the watch off, stuff it into his like suit, like pocket, his like trouser pocket, and then he's gonna like emerge out of the exact same table, hoping no one noticed. Now dressed exactly the same shirt, same tie, trousers, but it's just
cement.
concrete, cement hands, and his like his shoes. You can see like the gap. His trousers are a little bit too short. So you can see like the gap between where his trousers end and his shoes begin is just cement there as well. And he just gets up and he goes, I'm someone else. I'm Sidewalk.
I think that it's not that Joy isn't a good dancer. It's that she's trying to dance with someone who is very big, but doesn't look big, right? Like we're thinking like if I was trying to dance with like the Hulk, but all I could see was Bruce Banner, right? There's and I keep like accidentally like elbowing Sid in like the shoulder, but it's like way higher than it should be. And I'm like, oh God, I'm sorry.
Welcome back to Rolling with Lag, playing the Hyperlight Drifter tabletop RPG game. So far, we're about halfway through the dungeon. I will give a quick story recap. But before I do that, we did get a question in the chat from Andreas asking how we did the point buy system. So when we were doing our session 0, I was explaining the point buy system, how you can lower your both your top and bottom numbers when you create your character. You have 8 points to spend, and the players asked.
Oh yeah, why did that happen? The Zoom changed the order of people.
Oh,
Nick, you're not a game master. Good luck.
Cool.
Everyone's gonna be weird for a bit. Now Lowe's the game master.
Everybody left the dungeon and went back to a bar. Introduce your characters.
But yes, so I
and now we're back in the dungeon where we were.
So the players basically asked me.
And now I'm going to talk to the monsters.
There we go. We're good. Everyone's who they're supposed to be. Thank you for pointing that out, Ross. I appreciate it.
The players
now
asked
I'm
me.
sad about my wife again.
I was explaining how we can lower stats, and they said, well, if we make things harder, if we raise stats, will that give us more points? Because in some point buy systems, you do get that. I wasn't entirely sure if that was the case, but in the moment I thought, yeah, that sounds, good. And it wasn't until we were already enjoying the idea of lowering and raising our stats to a certain point that we realized this might have changed the system. But just so you know, again, I cannot stress this enough. If you want to learn the system, there is a completely free playtest version available on the Metal Weave Games website right now. Definitely check that out. And if you have any questions, go to the Discord, because the Discord is super active and super helpful. Great, helpful people there. And also, Metal Weave Games as a company is great because they do the baby bestiary stuff. So while I was on the Discord, I just scroll through the baby bestiary and look at all these cute, tiny little owl bears. Anyway,
I kind of got lost in that as well when you told me about that. Just kind of going through Google, looking at little baby monsters. They're very cute.
Andreas says lowering the bottom is a bit dangerous, but that's fine. You're having fun, which counts. Thanks, Andreas. We really appreciate that. I mean, that's the thing with tabletop RPGs. Everyone kind of
raising the bottom is what I meant to say.
Raising the bottom, yeah.
Yeah, it's raising the bottom, and Lowering the top was it?
Yes, and that was the thing. Like the players were all fully aware that that was dangerous and that was going to cause these kind of insane rolls. But I think we were all kind of in the.
It's a one shot, you know.
Yeah,
you get to go a little game breaky and a little like min maxing and stuff like that.
So exploration and survival are both 18 in a one shot where we've been rolling mostly it's exploration and survival. I am absolutely hopeless until I have to open a door or kill someone.
Absolutely.
And to be fair, when you had to do that, you did it really well. So the character is clearly built well.
Yeah, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
So, a recap as to what happened just before the break. Our drifters have traveled for about 9 or 10 days to a location they had been told contained a underground vault, an ancient vault that contained technology. They arrived at the entrance, which seemed to be this large square lift, where they met a raccoon who told them that his father was a delver, and about 6 months ago, about a year ago, headed down into this dungeon with a mysterious other delver who had hired him. They agreed to split anything they found. Half would go to this raccoon folk, the delver, who decided to bring it back to Sanctuary, and the other half would go to this mysterious delver who is keeping all the technology and knowledge to himself. So our adventurers delved into this dungeon, and they found that this was an ancient laboratory of some kind. There were robot body parts, automaton parts being moved around at some point, and these pipes with crystal spikes bursting out of this black ichor. And they found in the first room a dirk, this ravenous creature, which Hendrix easily dispatched before discovering that this dirk might have come into contact with this raccoon delver and may have been his, pun intended, downfall. So
you were working on that over the break, weren't you, Cam? A lot of time
just
into that
countless like wrapped up papers thrown into my shoulder. So you are now standing at this bridge. You have this new item. There's a door in front of you, and there's these two platforms either side that are kind of out of reach. What would you guys like to do?
I was going to say Flynn then. Wow. Rob sort of dusts off his hands and says, "Not my area," and then will sit and just fold his arms until the problem gets solved.
I reach into one of my pouches and I pull out another sort of like, jerry-rigged piece of technology. Looks like maybe it's got a giant magnet on it. And I don't know if this will work or if it will just cause everything to fall into the abyss. I don't know if it'll come close enough, but I'm going to try and use my vacuum ability to try and get the boxes that are like on one of those ledges, like onto the bridge with us. So it uses 2 energy.
Amazing. Okay, because you are doing this in such a way that you need to be precise, and there is a system for this in the game, I'm going to make you use the energy up front, but you're also going to roll. Okay. So I'm going to need you to roll a wield skill, which is manipulate.
Cool. Ooh, even though that's my best skill, I still rolled a judgment.
How much did you roll a judgment by, though?
Just by 1. So like
you could use
6 was my I can spend energy.
Yes. So
okay,
you spend
I'll do
an
that.
energy point. And
yeah.
How much is your grit? I think it is.
My grit is 1.
So you just have enough to boost it up with that piece of energy. So you reach out and you kind of manipulate these boxes, and
I imagine it looking kind of like the ghost catchers from Ghostbusters.
yeah. You're like, you begin to pull this technology
Luigi
towards
and
you.
Luigi's Mansion. Something like
that reference, I understand. I'm glad you added that.
And they begin to move towards you, and just as they're about to fall off the side, you use that grit point to use a bit of energy to bring them in front of you. And you see that there are, in fact, 2 of these crates now. They kind of topple onto the floor in front of you.
Oh, I immediately start just when everyone's closest to me. I'm like, shoving. I know I turn on the laser sword. Cut off the top.
Rob's like, ooh, just at the show that's going on in front of it.
All right. Tell you what then. Roll me.
We literally just spent 10 minutes trying to tell you to do exactly not that.
No, but we know what it does now.
Yeah.
It does this.
You cut the top of 2 of these boxes,
Yeah.
and inside,
Probably cutting things apart that are inside. Maybe like I'm not like being precise. I'm very like cool sword.
yeah. You see inside one of these boxes has a very small item. You recognize this as a stim pack. It's kind of an ancient looking stim pack, way older than anything you've seen in the sanctuary, but it is still, the basic premise is the same. It is a stim pack. So you can use a stim pack to regenerate 2 health or 2 energy. So you pick this up, and then as you cut the roof off the next box, you see this this small pack that you recognize as, well, actually, I don't know if you would, because this is old technology. So you can roll me a salvage check, which is manipulate.
Okay. And I rolled a fortune.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So you look at this and it's like, God, I recognize this. Some of the wiring is the same, and it's clearly to affix to your clothing, and you realize it's like the ancient version of armor. It's this protective shield that if you wield it, it will put up like a force field around you and give you armor. This, in fact, is protective armor, which I will get the stats for in 1 second. Equipment. Okay, so protective armor provides you 3 protection points, which you can put into your armor stat if you were to wield it.
Oh my gosh. Are armors like mutually exclusive? Like you can only have one type of armor on at a time?
I believe you can wear one armor and wield a shield as well, which will boost it even more. But yeah, if you're wearing armor, I think you got to switch it out.
And this is armor, not a shield.
This is armor, yeah, not a shield.
Okay.
I know it's confusing because I described it as like a force field.
No, I got you. Are my 2 are you guys wearing? I'm pointing this way as if that's how you are on the thing.
You actually got it right.
You're that way.
Yeah, that worked.
Are you guys wearing armor?
Nope.
No.
Just very thick clothes.
Okay. Well, then I think the armor should probably go to Hendrix, and I'll
Agreed.
hand that over to him. And then do you want to hold the stim pack, or should I to Rob?
You can hold. I've already got a stim pack.
Oh.
I brought one from home.
I look at your shoulder and say, you really don't have a high self-opinion of yourself, do you?
Oh, I mean, I'm fine. Like, if I were to like give myself a rating of like how healthy I am right now, I'm at like 70%. So like, I figure I'll keep it, and if I get more hurt, I can always use it. But if somebody gets really, really hurt,
I'm just saying 50% of your shoulder has a burn mark in it.
Yeah. It cauterized though, so I'm not bleeding.
Oh, congratulations. You're not bleeding out, but so.
So, does Hendrix use this armor, or does he insist on giving it?
He was talking about a stim pack.
Oh, I see. That makes sense.
Oh yes, I'm taking the armor. I do believe in self-preservation.
So you
surprised me. I didn't expect you to be quite so like looking out for other people.
It's because I didn't at one point that I lost other people.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh. The coat blows in the non-existent wind. See the brim of a non-existent hat.
Rob looks around trying to see the source of the wind. Is there a violinist in here? What's going on?
I mean, I love Hendrix.
That's great.
So you affix this like kind of technological node to your chest, Hendrix, and this kind of protective shield comes around you, which is not a shield, it is armor. So you can add 3 to your armor stat. And the way that armor works in this game, I believe, again, don't take everything I say as take everything I say with a grain of salt. I believe that you can spend armor when you take damage as kind of like a soak, a temporary soak. But if your armor is all used up, you've used it to soak these hit points, you can't get it back until a rest. So, with that, you guys are now free to continue if you wish to do so.
The bridge was repaired. Not repaired, but like
the bridge you guys are standing on, the one that goes across the room, there's no problems with this bridge.
Oh, for some reason, that's one of those like, you know, tabletop moments where it just looked different in my head. I assumed that the bridge we needed to like extend it for some reason. Like there was a button somewhere we hadn't pressed.
There are two gaps between the platforms, one of which Cassadell pulled all the items from, so there's no reason to go across. But in terms of the bridge you guys are standing on, it's fully extended to the rest of
excellent. Okay, cool. Rob realizes this and stops trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist. I'm good to move on if the group is.
Fantastic. So, what order are you guys heading?
Oh yeah, Rob will like start walking and then slow his pace down.
Like not obvious, but like allow your friends to move in front of you.
Yeah.
So I assume Rob is at the back.
Yeah, please.
Who's going first?
I look at him and goes, well, he did just have a near-death experience. I'll just allow him to be shell-shocked in the back then. Honey, we'll talk later. Children, shink!
Ooh. See, Hendrix pulls out his two swords and heads in the front. So we got in the front Hendrix, just behind is Cassadell, and in the back
as far back as this game allows.
You are a whole time.
Sorry, I didn't talk for a second. I got booted from the Google call, and I didn't want to be talking with the. It's fine, I fixed it. I didn't want to be talking without.
That is
captions. So I was like.
Yeah, absolutely, that's fair. So you guys head. You see this door in front. This one doesn't look like it's broken. This one, as you approach it, way less violently than the other, just kind of moves open. And you guys are now, you walk out into a platform. It's a platform, it doesn't take up much of the room. You see it goes about 5 feet into this like 20 foot by 20 foot circular room. Again, a massive pit, like a bottomless pit below you. And you see around you these pipes, more crystals now. The deeper you get into this dungeon, more crystals bursting out, these pipes leaking with this black liquid. And you see opposite, there are two doors, but almost strangely like in the wall there is the door, but there's no like jutty out part, there's no platform, there's not a bridge, there's no way leading to the doors. On the platform you're standing at, which is the third door you've just walked through, there's this kind of like globe looking like kind of like a little bit of a platform on the platform, but like, you know, like a table, I guess is what I'm trying to describe. And there's a globe within the table that you can kind of like move around a little bit. Am my descriptions making you guys laugh?
No, the thing that made me laugh, Cam, is that you have absolutely killed this stream. Like, you've done so well, and the thing that tripped you up, the first actual hitch, was describing a table.
But it's not. I wanted to come across to like. Again,
it's like a platform that you use to put things on.
4 legs, this mysterious future device.
I mean, like, have you guys ever seen one of those things?
A table? Yeah.
No.
No, but like, guys, for real now, have you ever seen a table? This is crazy.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's my fault. I wanted to describe.
It's not. You did nothing wrong.
Those like, you know, the globes you can move around. Sometimes they put them in like city centers and stuff, and you can like pull them, and they're always, you know, they got like water coming out of them, and you can kind of. It doesn't matter. Basically, there's a table with a globe on it. Let's say what it is. Let's say what it is.
Yep, got you.
So this mysterious piece of technology. I must look insane in the captions as well, where it just keeps saying, is sitting there. And it is dull, but it seems to have the same markings that the elevator had.
Okay.
But there's no way to get to these other doors. They're so far away from you guys. You stand now here looking at this table, and with no way to continue. There's a door to the right and door to the left.
I immediately put my hands on the globe and I start rolling it in the direction toward like one of the doors that's off to the side and see if it like moves the platform that we're on.
So you want to spin it like left, right, up, down, like what direction?
I'm assuming it's like, why don't I have a ball handy? I'm assuming it's just like a ball. And I can.
So
were you trying to describe the like? Oh man, maybe they only have them at Disneyland in California. You only know Disney World.
There's one in Disney World as well.
Okay, yeah. Right. So I'm trying to spin it like that. Like I'm not spinning it.
100%. You're
going
like
that
pushing
way.
it this way.
Yeah.
As you push it this way, you see that there's this beam of light that kind of like goes across you all, and then you give it one big spin and there's this big light bridge that is now, oh god, I punched my mic. This is a disaster, guys. This
so
light bridge is now like facing upwards. It's like a wall, and you're just looking at this wall as you give it this one push.
The sound your mic made was kind of like perfectly timed now.
Nice. So this light bridge is kind of like kind of see-through, but it's like a blue light that shoots up as high as you can see, and it's like emanating from the edge of the platform you guys are standing on.
So there's like a bridge that we could walk on,
but because
the light is also going up.
The bridge that is formed of light is kind of like blocking your way now, because the way you rolled it, it's like straight up.
Oh, okay. I feel you.
Manipulate it.
Yeah. So now that I have it, I'm gonna like pretend that I'm playing Breath of the Wild with its really janky controls and like try.
Cam, do these tables have motion controls or?
Yeah.
You can give me an access and manipulate skill check.
Okay. Didn't even matter because I nat 20'd, so fortune.
So yeah, like you said, full Breath of the Wild motion controls expert. You just kind of wheel this ball around.
Those controls are so bad.
What were they thinking?
You got it in the center. Which door did you want to go, left or right?
I mean, there wasn't, when you were describing it, or correct me if I'm wrong, there wasn't like any sort of like difference between them.
Yeah, there's no denomination between.
What do you think, friends?
Go left.
Go left.
Cool.
I'm gonna move left.
You move this so that it is kind of like just underneath the left door, and as it hits the base of the left door, it begins to light up, and the door
amazing
moves to the side.
Hey Rob, you want to test? You should walk.
You glance at Rob, but you don't see him. You just see a dust outline of him as he sprints towards the door full tilt.
Nice.
I thought he was running away, but okay. So Rob, you sprint, you go to touch the light bridge, and there's a moment where you're like, oh no, have I made it? And then it touches, and you're able to stand on this light bridge, and you make your way across. Are you gonna like catch up with him, or are you guys just watching him go?
That's a strange choice I just made there. It could have been just take me out of the stream for the remaining hour.
I'll follow.
My ears. Okay, Hendrix, you following?
I'm just gonna walk slowly and make sure that the light bridge doesn't just blink out of existence while they're running on it.
You guys walk across at your various speeds. Hendrix is kind of like, you kind of give it like 1, 2, 3 taps with your foot before stepping on and moving across. But it seems to hold. It seems to be serving its purpose exactly how it was intended. You guys get over to this next room that appears to be some kind of doorway. This large, not even a doorway, it would be like a vault entrance, if you get me. It's this circular kind of, a vault door. And in the middle, you see that there is this kind of slot for what probably was a key.
And here I was expecting big yellow numbers.
But lucky for you, there does seem to be something placed in this keyhole, for lack of a better term. The door itself is shut, but you do think that this has been unlocked at some point in the past. But it seems pretty hefty. Like, unlocking the door is one thing, but opening it seems to be something that was probably a some kind of automated system, but it's turned off. Like it's the door is just kind of stuck in the wall. What would you guys like to do?
Does anyone have a bomb?
I'm gonna look for
Yes.
a generator or like a winch or like some kind of like push pulley
You mean this?
contraption
And I
thing.
hold up like a stick of dynamite.
That, yes, that would solve the problem.
Well, Hendrix, as you look around, you can make me a awareness exploration check.
Hendrix doing the actual adventuring thing, and the other two are like getting
Hey,
giddy,
I
probably
have
like
an
does.
explosive.
Yeah.
It's-
Oh, I can't
it's
like
one of
get a
mine.
manipulate to see if I find like a little.
Oh, you're looking for like piece of technology. Yeah,
Yeah.
roll me salvage, which is a manipulate check.
Oh, just hit the bumper right on the dot. It's 12. That's gonna be a crit for me.
Nice. Okay,
No half measures.
so you pull out a grenade, Cassadell, and you're like, oh, we could just blow our way through this door.
Yeah.
And Hendrix at that point goes, well, I've just found a wrench. Just holds a wrench up. It's not like
But we were gonna.
a
It was gonna be
wrench.
cool.
It's like a piece of metal that like has like fallen off something, but you could definitely use it to get leverage. And it seems to be the old lever for this door before that was broken off. So you got two options. You got the dynamite, or you've got sticking this thing in and trying to open it up.
I'm always for sticking things places.
Suppose we can treat the dynamite as Plan B.
Yeah.
I'm gonna treat that as plan never, considering how she handles swords.
It's gonna be like, yeah, glance over at Cassadell and the dynamite's already lit.
No, I'm just swinging my laser sword around.
Rob once again is like, ooh, do a flip.
So Hendrix, are you gonna try and like? You could either try to repair this like lever that was originally for the door, or you could literally just stick it in and use brute strength to try and open it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to repair it.
Okay. Use me. Sorry. Use me, guys. So, trying to use.
Gonna gift that later.
I've already marked the highlight. I will send you the footage.
Yeah, roll me an access check, which is manipulate.
Thank you. Cool. Got an 18 that time. So another crit for me.
Nice. You guys, with a fortune, you kind of like push this thing in and you twist it so that it's kind of like it's clearly rusted as someone's taken this off, but you're able to like kind of just with brute strength just pull it and turn it until it clicks back into place. And then with your strength, you this lever moves, and all of a sudden, this ancient vault door begins to slowly swing open. Rob, you kind of have to step back because you kind of excitedly like, wow, this is where we're going to place the dynamite. It's going to explode. It's going to be great. And as the door begins to move, you just like, oh, you move back a bit. The door kind of creaks open, and inside, it's quite dark. So I'm going to have to ask everyone to roll me an awareness check, which is going to be, I believe, I've got this down now, an exploration check.
Cool.
Nope.
No.
That's
I
deep
will
into the judgment zone.
use my prototype because you said exploration, right?
Yeah.
Shifting it to manipulate, getting out my useful prototype again so that I can have a fortune.
Build
It's
it
a
up
really
that
cool
wall.
mechanic to like have an ability that makes it the stat you're good at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I find as well, like,
That's what I do with social.
yeah, it's really cool because then as a DM, I have to kind of describe why you're using that skill instead.
Yeah.
So it's changes the descriptions of things, I think, as well. Like when I described the standoffishness of Hendrix. Nevertheless, the two of you, look, you could probably see if you waited a bit, but you don't know how much time you've got. So if you stood there and kept looking, you could see as your eyes adjust. But luckily, Cassadell, you're looking and you see like these bits of technology. They catch your eye straight away. and you're able to like your eyes are adjust to these bits of technology that are giving off dim light, and it illuminates the rest of the room. But the first things you do see are these 4 towers, these 4 like pyramid-like towers. They're not like straight pyramids. They kind of go up into like blocks, you know, getting ever so small. These are definitely like some kind of technological marvel. But out the top of them, you see dripping down, kind of like a champagne, you know, when someone fills champagne, like all stacked up, dripping down is this, again, black liquid that's pooling on the ground. It seems to have nowhere to go now, that something happened in this facility that's kind of broken it.
No longer bottomless pits.
No bottomless pits, all floor.
Cool.
You see in the middle of this room
all floor.
all floor. You see in the middle of this room there is this giant kind of like this like 15-foot, 10-foot wide like glass chamber, almost like maybe like a cell of some kind, but the bright light from inside is glowing, and you can't quite see what's inside. It's almost like there's something's inside that's glowing to the point where it's made the glass kind of translucent, you know, or opaque. You can't quite see what's inside, but with that light illuminating the rest of the room, you see again these pipes, but more are broken and dripping liquid. There seems to be this black liquid almost all over this chamber now. And the one thing that catches your attention the most is leaning up against this kind of glass cell, kind of sitting with their back against the cell, pooling around them, not blood, but again, this black liquid. And they're like holding a wound, is a figure. They wear this mask, kind of like a protective mask, and they wear a long coat. Again, you're the only one who sees this, but they're kind of clutching their chest. And as the door is like opening, you hear this figure again shout from quite far away, "Rocky! Rocky, is that you? Have you finally got help? Oh, took you long enough, you bastard."
Well, I'm offended, quite frankly. Can I throw a pigeon at him, please? No.
You throw.
Another one.
Frankie, no.
No. Oh, Frankie. I suppose I don't really need to invoke any skills here because this guy isn't hostile, and he's also speaking the language. As the only skill I have talking, I will say to this person, we're not Frankie was the bird.
Rocky.
We're not Frankie or Rocky.
Oh, Rocky the raccoon.
Oh.
Well, who are you then? Did he send you?
That depends. What is your opinion of Rocky?
Roll me a negotiate check, a social check.
I've done this dance before. That's a hard judgment there.
Oh, yay.
Kind of looks at you, and you see well, you don't see because you can't see. You just hear a voice coming out of the blackness. But
I see.
You see, he's like starts to get to his feet, and he goes, "Well, I don't know you, so why should I tell you anything?"
Well, I don't know you, so why should I tell you anything? Guys, I'm really not doing a good job here.
Well, allow me to intercede.
Don't shoot him. Please don't shoot him.
I mean, do you see the missus? She's not present.
No shit, the missus is not present. You are correct.
Yes. And anyway, sir, I find it understandable that you're questioning my friend's judgment here, so to speak. However, we don't mean you any harm. And Rocky, I'm assuming, may be a little skittish raccoon fellow.
Roll me a. Oh, what is this going to be? Tell me this. Hendrix, are you trying to calm this person down?
No, I'm just trying to resolve the situation one way or another because
Cool.
if he doesn't calm down, I am going to stab him.
All right, I'll tell you what then. You don't have to roll anything. I'll just say you say that he's a raccoon, and it's not going to change his attitude anyway. But he just kind of goes, "Yeah, He, you see, Casadel, you see that he pushes himself to his feet even more, and he kind of like pulls his coat over his wound to try and like look a little bit tougher. And he goes, "Yeah, he left." Rubs his eyes like confused. And again, with that fortune, as he like rubs his eyes and he kind of like moves his mask up, to rub his eyes, you see this black, like these black veins kind of reaching up his face, and they kind of go into his eyes and mouth. And you see he kind of rubs his face. He doesn't seem to react to them.
Yeah.
And he goes, puts his mask back down. He left, maybe it was a week, 2 weeks ago, to get help. I'm
gonna say, was this his? And I turn on my laser sword.
Rob's like, woo!
This sword erupts, and it kind of shines a little bit light for the other two of you, and you kind of see the silhouette of this gentleman, the Casadel is talking to, and he goes, "Yeah, that was his. You got him, did you?"
I hate to be the one to tell you this, but we believe he's dead.
Never
or
was much use.
Just still following.
You see that
Did
he looks.
you just say he wasn't much use?
He kind of ignores that comment and looks towards the.
More importantly, did you ask if we got him? Who are you?
You ask this. He looks up at the thing behind him, this massive kind of glass cage. He looks towards you guys, and you see that he begins to walk slowly towards you, and he goes, "Oh, don't worry about that. I'm just I'm the one who got you first, so thank you for opening the door, but you can leave now. This is my expedition." He begins to walk closer and closer, and you guys now all see this is definitely a drifter. He's got the getup. He's got, like, you can see grenades kind of like lining his like a bandolier of grenades, and he has drifter swords, and he has a gun to his side, and he begins to walk up. And as he comes into the light, kind of like trying to shoo you guys away with his presence and his words, the light of the sword that you're holding up begins to illuminate his mask, and his duster. And Hendrix,
I fucking knew it.
you recognize this duster and this mask and this voice. And all at once, as he comes towards you, this is that man from years ago, the man with no name who came into town, the man who turned your family into your weapons. As he begins to walk and goes, just piss off, will you? If Rocky's dead, then this stash is all mine. And you see that he reaches for his sword, and it erupts in like this light.
What color is it? What color is mine?
It's definitely red.
What color is mine?
And yours is definitely green.
Mine are blue in my left hand, yellow in my right hand, and red in my eyes.
Nice.
I let out a low growl. You will not have to worry about that treasure for much longer, because you're not taking it with you where you're going. Children, it's time to avenge yourselves.
I would like everyone to roll initiative, please.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh god. It rolled off the table. 19.
Yeah, as did mine. 11.
I also got a 19.
11. Casadel. Sorry, what was that, Castel?
19.
19. Nice.
So Cameron, what do you do in the event of a tie on initiative? Am I putting you on the spot by asking that?
It's good to put me on the spot. This is a playtest. This is the time. You know what? I don't know. And while I'm writing this, if anyone in the chat, Andreas, if you are still here, if you could let us know what you think we should do. And while you do that, I'm going to organize this initiative order. And if we haven't heard anything back, then I'll make a kind of ruling.
Okay, and I'll just give a quick thank you then to Matt the Twat for following. It's great to see you, Matt. I don't know if you're still here, but thank you so much for the follow. Your name always is a delight to read because you never know how people will react to it. Thank you for doing it. I appreciate it.
Could I get your initiative, though, even if it is the same as someone else's?
It's 19.
19. Cool. All right, and I will have a look at what the
Oh, Andreas missed it. We're wondering what we should do in the event of a tie on initiative rolls.
It is players, luckily.
Heroes first. Cool.
Yeah, both players have the initiative. I guess you guys can choose.
Reroll is what we're getting from the chat.
Oh, reroll? Oh, fantastic. Yeah, reroll.
All right.
For top spot, who got the same?
Cassadell and Robert got the same.
Okay.
So reroll for top spot. Okay.
10.
I wanted it to be a 10 as well. I wanted that supposed to be the stream, but I got a 14.
Okay, so Rob, then me, then Hendrix.
Cool. Okay, so Rob is going first. Then Cassadell. Then it will be the Drifter. Then it will be Hendrix.
I know that that's just like what they're called in the game, like weird drifters too, but like just calling him the Drifter is like such a badass
I was
name.
So many people I haven't been able to tell you their names, but I already have their names. Like Rocky Raccoon is like one that I liked.
Yeah.
But you guys probably won't know, but this guy is the Red Drifter.
I love it.
So yeah, you see the Red Drifter is walking towards you, and clearly him and Hendrix seem to have some kind of history. However, first up is actually Rob.
Which is terrifying. Rob will use his... How much energy do I have? You know what? Let's burn some energy. Rob is going to use his free action to not cast, but to use coordinated attack or coordinate attack. I rally my allies with an infallible call. It's so hard to read in Shutter Shades, directing a coordinated charge against the enemy. Target an enemy. Before the start of my next turn, each ally who attacks the target gains a one-time bonus on their attack rolls and damage, which are listed below, and I will read them out when that happens.
Oh, nice.
So I buffed them. Or debuffed him, I guess.
Right.
Did it specify that it has to be like a physical attack, or is it just like any sort of...
I think it just has
like
to...
an
it's
attack?
Just damage. Just anything that
Okay,
deals
cool.
damage.
I just wasn't sure if there was like... Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Um,
Classic Bard.
yeah.
Buffing the team.
But now he's going to do something unbard-like. So this person is still in the glass cage?
No, so this person is outside the glass cage. The glass cage is what he was protecting or coveting. He right now is, I would say, he's in the heat, and which is like the middle of the battleground. And I would say that by this time you probably are all in the heat right now. Because you were all kind of grouped up together.
Cool.
So you're all kind of within melee range of each other as this is about. It's almost like you guys like went to pull your swords and then it froze and you guys roll initiative.
Is it possible if I can use Tactician to change the initiative order a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. If you want to do that. I think I'd say do that after this go, but then you can definitely
Like, do you
change
use it on your turn?
It says before the start of combat or the start of a round.
Okay, I'll say.
Like, because I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I'll say that I'll let you do it after this, but because we're halfway into Robert's go already, I wouldn't retract that. So after this, then you can switch around the initiative order if you'd like. Robert, that was your first thing. You can spend some energy to do another thing if you want.
I am going to spend some energy, which allows me to take another action. It's a cool system.
It is.
And it's one energy, right, first, and then I can...
One first, but then also what you do might cost energy as well.
Okay. Take off... Do the thing. Character sheet. Hang on. PDFs, man.
The idea that Rob is like, just hold on a second.
All right, screw it. And Rob just starts running at the guy, and I'm gonna whack him.
All right, yeah. So roll me a, what is it called? Because I don't want to get it wrong.
Strike.
It is a strike. The skill, though, you roll, I believe, is
Combat.
Yes, it's a combat fight. There you go. It's a fight check. So roll me combat for your strike, and spend the energy that it takes to do the strike.
Have done. I'm just gonna reveal my stats here. So it's 20. I have to get a 20 to get a fortune here, and to not get a judgment, I need to roll above 15. So here we go. I'm a bard. I'm not meant for this. Oh, 18.
Nice.
So that's a
Nice.
Temperance.
Hold on. I'm going to use Stronger Together to boost him up to a 20.
Oh.
So you're running. You're almost gonna hit kind of but miss. But then what do you say to give him this bout of inspiration, Hendrix?
Well, if I have to take revenge, I'm not going to do it alone. So, go for his knees.
Yeah, and Rob, he's going for the upper strike, and he just swoops it down and goes for the knee instead.
Went out. One second.
Yeah, so he screams, go for the knees. You were going to go for the head. You see that the Red Drifter moves his light sword up to block. And as he screams, go for the knees, you just instinctually sweep the leg and you deal damage. How much damage does your one-handed weapon?
So I took a lot of screenshots from the PDFs of stuff I would need. The one thing I didn't screenshot was my weapon, and I'm very sorry.
I have it here. You have a one-handed weapon, right?
Yeah, it's a light weapon. Light one-handed.
Cool. So that is going to be 2 damage.
Cool.
So you strike this guy's legs and almost take it out of him, and you deal 2 damage to him with your strike. As he's again, he has his sword up to block the headshot. Completely didn't expect this, and is a jolts a bit backwards.
This is an assumption. I think I probably don't get the buff for coordinate attack. I assume it says when an ally. I'm not my own ally.
Yeah.
Okay,
fair.
just double checking. Oh, guys, I'm not my own ally.
It's not
You are your
Pathfinder.
own worst enemy, as they say.
And then I will.
You can get out of there if you'd like, but it would cost you 2 energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I think I'll. Is there? I hate to just keep using D&D terms. Is there attack of opportunity stuff?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
There might be. But just to keep this going fast, I'll say that I don't think there is, and we could get corrected by that.
Yeah, okay.
However, reposition, which is what you're going to do. So not only are you going to spend 2 energy to get another move, but you're also going to reposition. Reposition.
Cool. We got a
here it
note
is.
in the chat on the attack of opportunity stuff.
Perfect. Okay. First action energy code would cost you 0 plus reduced by your aptitude. Okay. Do you move a tile, then strike? I'm trying to see if there's how much reposition costs. Oh, here it is. It's 1 energy to reposition yourself. So you're going to spend 2 energy to get that third go, and then another energy to get the hell out of dodge. As you kind of hit the legs, do your damage, and then go, yes, and then run away.
We shouted this out earlier. I'd like to do it again, because we did it right at the start. I want to do it just how good this PDF is that's included with the game. That you get a PDF as a character sheet. It makes life so much easier.
Yes.
Just being able to change numbers and the character sheet just
I'm
updates
obsessed.
for you. It's excellent. That's such a good choice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, just for reference, what is my boost score for the Stronger Together thing? I'm assuming it's the grit.
Yes. So you are boosting using either your grit or your. Let me have a look at the character sheet myself, because I want to make sure I know. Because again, I'm a little bit confused between the difference between grit and nerve, but I think grit is physical stuff, right? So I think your boost would be your grit score.
Yeah, I figured that it would probably be the grit. And how much energy did that cost to use it? Just 1, because the cost isn't listed.
Ooh, what is the ability called again? I can look it up.
Stronger Together. It's under Warrior.
Cool. Stronger together. You can spend your energy and your boost score. So here's the thing. Basically, you're gonna boost it as much energy as you want. You get me? So if you want to boost it 2, which is what you did because you brought it from 18 to 20, right?
Yeah.
You have to spend 2 energy.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically like boosting your own rolls, but for your ally.
Right. It's not
Cool.
like 2 per because my grit's 2.
No, it's 1 because your grit is 2, so it's 1 energy to get the 2 grit up. I'm
so
so
your
sorry.
grit or your nerve like soaks it first, and then you start spending energy beyond that. Is that how that works?
It basically is like you cost one energy point, and that will do how much your grit is. So 1 energy point will boost it up 2 for Hendrix because his grit is 2. Again. First time I'm GMing this, so I'm just trying my best.
All right, so I interpreted that correctly.
Awesome. All right. So you've done 3 actions so far. Are you going to do another action, Rob?
I'm Rob.
I'm Cam.
No.
I'm Spartacus.
I'll just run away. And there's some whimpers. You hear some whimpers. He couldn't keep it together. He runs away.
Okay. So now activating your ability, you want to reshuffle the initiative order. How would you like to do that, Hendrix?
All right, I'm gonna reshuffle initiative order so I'm next.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And because I can only do it for the heroes. So
that makes sense. That totally makes sense. Yeah.
1 second.
So that would put you next, then Cassadel. Then it would actually put the Red Drifter last. So I'm going to just make a note of that. So we've got, again, Robert is staying where he is, but you are up next, then Cassadel, and then this Red Drifter. By the ability that you use, it's kind of like a little bit staggered, so he kind of drops in the initiative order a little bit. And I assume Cassadel, seeing this like anger that you have for this person, is like, all right, I'm just gonna let Hendrix do what Hendrix do.
And the ability for tactician, it says I spend an intervention point, but I don't see that on the sheet.
Oh yes. So again, this was back in session 0, so it's a little bit.
That's that pool of team.
So we've
points.
got 5 intervention points that you can spend, but it is for all of you, so you can totally spend that because you guys haven't used any yet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, I'll just pop that then. So I popped that, and that doesn't cost me any energy or anything. So it's just, I basically just moved myself and made sure Cass was still in that staff for me. Cool. All right, cool. So for my turn, I'm going to assume that when the Red Drifter got hit, that he kind of keeled over a little bit. So I'm going to use that opportunity to roll over his back to get out of the zone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you can use a energy point to reposition as you roll over his back and move away from the zone. So you now are zone over.
Yep. So I'm 1 zone away, and now I'm going to basically while he's kind of distracted and off balance from me rolling on his back, I'm going to rush at him and trigger impale.
Okay, could you please explain to me what that does?
The effect is I move 1 tile and then I deal 1 W to a target. If there are other adversaries in that tile, I deal 2 damage to one of them.
Wow. Okay, so that is
so it's my dash ability.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so you're gonna spend the energy to take another turn, dash towards this guy, and deal some damage.
Yep.
I will do that. So I've noted that damage. That is your second action. Would you like to take another action?
Yep, I'll spend 2 more energy to do that.
I had a feeling this was going to be the turn.
Down the 2. And so when I dash and I'm like, Bailey, now! And then I go, Zane, finish him! And
and I love it.
I kind of I was just caught up in the moment that each attack because I got that buff on the guy, so that should improve the damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, what is it?
So it was a fortune, right?
Yes.
Yes, obviously
yeah.
it hit. So that's +2 damage for each, well, on a fortune attack.
Oh my goodness. All right then. I have updated the damage that this gentleman has taken. And okay, so roll me those combat checks for your attack, Hendrix.
Crit and crit.
Nice. And how much damage does your weapon do? You're using
Ailey and Zane both do 2.
They both do 2. Okay, so you have spent an energy point to attack and another energy point. Like you're eating up your energy now, but you're literally tearing into this person. Both do 2 +2, which means it's.
Oh no, it only applies to the first attack.
Oh, good.
I think I'm reading that right.
Yeah.
The
That seems more balanced, I think.
Yeah. Well, it says gain a one-time bonus to their attack rolls and damage. So that means the first attack.
Okay. 9. Okay, so you slash him twice with these swords. You must have used a lot of energy now because I think that's like your 4th turn. The second slash.
I did the dash attack was my second action, and then as my 3rd turn was a single attack. So I've done 3.
I see. Okay. Yeah. So that's actually.
But that makes me done because I'm down to 2 energy now.
Wow. Okay. So you guys see Hendrix is like using all of his might to just deal so much damage to this person, but he seems like he's getting a little bit exhausted. All right. So, what is that going to be from Casadel? It's your turn.
Okay, so I see that Hendrix is just like wailing on this guy. Am I also gonna get that bonus, Jack? Rob Jack?
Yes, I think that's what it is. Before the start of your next turn, each ally who attacks this target gains 1 bonus. So yeah,
Nice.
it applies to
All right.
everyone, but on their first attack.
I look at you while you're assessing the situation, and like I just kind of give you a wink, which would be like a callback to our off-screen conversation about your sword. Pointy in first. You owe me.
I like this. Well, I guess the sword was already lit. I just I charge at him and I try and stab him.
Oh yeah,
Turn it back on, make it look cooler.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I want to describe it cooler than that, but it's a fucking lightsaber. It's cool.
It'd be cooler than that.
Yeah. You can roll me a fight check. Roll me a combat check.
Okay. Woof. This is just hoping that nope. Judgment.
Okay.
How close?
How much damage does this person...
Oh, I rolled a 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's very bad judgment. Yeah.
Can't help you.
Yeah.
Sorry, how much? I asked you. I didn't hear you. Sorry. How much?
I think this is a two-handed weapon, right? It's 3.
Weapon. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you run up and you kind of run and you swing wildly.
Yeah.
And I think that it's kind of like these things, right, where you swing, you go wide, and you don't manage to hit him. And because you rolled a judgment, I'm gonna say that using this weapon, and again, because you hit yourself with it, is really stressing you out. So I'm gonna look at the Drifter's stat sheet here, because there's this cool thing where the woe of the creature can affect. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Drifter has 5 woe, I think. So I think you take 5 points of woe damage. Let me double check this actually, because I
mean, I can do that.
Yeah. Let me just maybe a little bit of chat interaction. Just
Chat interaction.
Well, I was John's in the chat with my I'm Rob quote, which I'm looking forward to watching back because I know I was just completely spaced staring off into heaven. I think there's.
It was only a second long. It wasn't that long, but I know that it also when it's dead air, you're like.
I just forgot who Rob was for a second.
Yes, they have consequence points. Okay, here we are. The consequence points are so the Drifter has 4, so you actually take 3 damage. My bad.
Damage?
So you take 3 damage. because you rolled a consequence. All right, so you just go too far, and you take 3 damage as you can like skiff your own foot with the light sword. But that is only 1 go. That is free, except for the 1 energy you have to spend to attack. Would you like to take another go?
Yeah. Sorry, okay. Wait. Right.
John in the chat.
Oh my gosh. Math, guys.
I know, it's tough.
What was your quote, Nick? Math is something.
Math is stupid.
Oh, math is stupid.
Yeah, math is stupid. Oh, why didn't I remember that?
You blanked on the word stupid.
Simple sentence in the world.
Look, it's okay if you blank on a word, guys. All right, don't be
I'm a simple man.
Stable.
Maths is terrible.
Okay. Can I use the stim pack on myself?
Yeah, absolutely. Spend another energy point to use the stim pack.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. And did you say it gives back 2?
2 hit points. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Cheers for self-care.
You
I'm
stim
good.
pack yourself. That's the end of your turn.
Mhm.
Okay. Now it is the Drifter's turn. So the Drifter was damaged, but like he was injured when you guys came in. So you get the sense that he's not at full hit points. Something has happened. And you see this corruption now. Even with his mask, you see the corruption is moving up his neck. This is a very corrupt man. He said like Rocky left 1 or 2 weeks ago. You guys that know that Rocky's been missing for a year. So something has gone wrong with this guy. He uses his dash ability, which happens when he is injured, and he is going to dash backwards, and he is going to pull off one of the grenades on his bandolier and throw it to the square that you guys are all now sitting in. He's one space away from you guys. He throws this grenade. I'm gonna need everyone to make me a reflex check.
Can I throw a pigeon at the grenade to try to knock it out of the air?
No.
Okay. I'll roll the reflex check then. Okay.
Which
So
one's
the
reflex?
Reflex is going to be. Sorry, I'm usually on the ball with this. It's not combat. It's definitely not social.
That's a shame.
Oh no, the 2 things I'm good at.
Oh no, the only thing I'm good at.
Yeah.
Reflex is exploration.
Oh no, the thing I'm worst at.
Ooh.
Oh, I will spend a woe point probably because my exploration is very bad.
Yeah, that's judgment.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna give myself woe and use useful prototype. You know, I have a like a one-time thing that's gonna make a shield. I'm trying to come up with what the
I see.
prototype
Yeah.
is.
Well, I'll say it's a bomb, right? It's technology.
Yeah.
So you see it coming, and you look at it, and you're like, "No, that's not good." You jump out of the way.
That works too.
Yeah.
I got a fortune.
Fantastic. You jump out of the way. You take no damage, but Rob, I assume, is like looking through his pockets trying to find his pigeon.
Are you
and he's
kidding
like,
me? Robert makes no mistakes. I got a fortune.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry. So
Assuming
Robert,
the worst.
perfect. Robert jumps out of the way. Cassadell jumps out of the way, but you are just enraged, Hendrix. You've got like 2 energy left. You're exhausted, but you are enraged that this person is here. Of all the places to find this person, it was, of course, when you were doing a job. And this grenade just rolls and explodes. It deals you 4 points of health damage. As it explodes, you take the brunt of the explosion, but you're there just looking. So he's dashed.
There goes my armor. And now I'm down to 11.
And now he is going to yeah, I think he can do this. I think because the Drifter's pretty hefty enemy. I've just reduced his health because he was damaged. I think he still can use some more actions. So I think he's going to pull a gun out and he's going to try and shoot you. So could you roll me either a reflex or defense? If you roll defense, that's going to be combat.
Combat it is. Fuck. All the one.
I have a question. I have a
Yes.
dash ability that it's called barrier protection, and it blocks incoming consequences to you or your allies. That sounds like it's something that I would have to use, like, not on my turn. Like, it sounds like a reaction.
Yeah, Andrea said in the chat earlier there are reaction abilities. So
Okay.
Oh, totally.
So I'm just wondering if I could use that to block the incoming consequences to Hendrix.
Oh, right. Do you have details about like the?
Yeah. Let me pull it up. It's called barrier protection. Do that Control F in the thing. Okay. Block incoming. Where's the?
Can I get a Control F in the chat?
Yeah, okay. It takes
an extra
2
mode.
dash. And I haven't used any dash yet, and I think I have 2, so that would be
Nice.
good. You raise with a wave of energy. You raise a great barrier that blocks and absorbs incoming attacks. Effect: raise a barrier that can absorb consequences triggered by you and your allies. You can absorb up to a total number of consequences equal to 4 plus insight.
Whoa. Okay. This shot was going to deal 4 consequence damage because he's got a consequence 4 level, like his consequence level is 4. So he pulls out his gun, he tries to fire, and again, exhausted and just wild, his eyes glowing red, his blue and his yellow sword to the side. You don't even try to dodge Hendrix, he's just like in frenzy, but luckily your friend throws up this barrier and the shot is diffused by this shield barrier.
And I say, you may have lost your family, but you aren't alone.
Oh my god. And you see the Red
Rob pulls out
Drifter.
his book of one-liners and starts checking some off.
The Red Drifter, shocked, looks over and sees all these people working together. That is the end of his turn. So it is now because of the reshuffling, still Robert's turn.
Okay. Rob is going to open. Hang on, something might pop up on the stream. I apologize. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna use coordinate attack again, just to rebuff that debuff.
Ooh, hell yeah.
Because that's 2 energy, so I'll take those off now. And Rob will say something really cool like, "Let's get him, team. Let's do it." Woo! And that will, it's inspiring. People like that stuff. And then again, I'm gonna just keep burning energy. I will burn some energy to take another attack.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So-
Are you going to take a ranged attack? Do you have any ranged weapons?
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, so he is a whole square across now.
Can I throw the spear?
You can do an improvised weapon.
Yeah, I'll throw my cane with a knife on the end at the guy like a spear.
Okay, let me double, triple, double check that you can do an improvised weapon. I do believe you can.
If not, I guess I'll run up to the guy. But it's cooler if I'm like, nah, and throw the thing. Like my only possession, the only thing I brought to this dungeon.
Cooler? Is that the word we want to use here?
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Like a javelin in his heart. Tell stories about me.
Improvised weapon is close range. Yeah, it doesn't appear that you can. But I'll tell you what.
I've got it. No, I've got this. Rob goes to, he's like, I know what I gotta do, and goes to throw it. But because he's like nervous and sweating and really warm, he's actually melted some of the hot glue again, and it's now stuck to his hand. So he goes like, it doesn't come off. All right, and he runs up to the guy and just like pokes him with it. He's not even holding the thing anymore, just kind of like karate chops him
absolutely.
with the cane.
So if you spend the relevant energy to reposition, which is 1 energy, and then you can take another action and roll me a fight check, a combat check.
Okay. Rob is quite tired now, I'll be honest.
This is what I like about the energy system. It's like, yeah, your health might be fine, but you guys are like putting a lot of like, stuff into these actions, and narratively it's really cool to have Hendrix just like fully just go all out.
Judgment.
Oh no.
He's going to pay.
I'm
He
about
is
to pay.
going to pay.
And so might Robert. Okay. So for a judgment, you are gonna take how much damage does that weapon do? I believe it's 2, right?
2. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's what you told me. Yes.
Yes. So you run and you trip and bang your head and you deal yourself. You can either do 2 judgment, 2 damage, or you can do 2 energy. It's up to you, because it's kind of like, does it knock the wind out of you, or is it gonna hit your head and hurt you? It's up to you.
Well, I have no energy. I have very little energy left, so I think I'll just tank the damage.
So you tank the damage, you hit your head. Would you like to do anything else with your turn?
Yeah, while lying on his back, clutching his head, Rob just like raises his hand and goes, just shoot him, please.
And with that, it is now Hendrix's turn.
So I step in front of Casadel, and I grab hold of Kate, and I look at her, and I say, "We never were alone, but I'm glad you're by my side as well." And then I grab Kate and I hold her, and I aim at the guy's head one last time. And I take my final shot.
You've got 2 energy left. It's going to take 1 energy. This is literally the last of your strength to pull this massive gun up and take the shot. Roll me a combat check.
Let's get some cross fingers in the chat. For this.
Darlings, now or never.
We all want to
7. That'll do a crit.
You take the shot. It does 3 damage, right?
Yeah.
Plus
take the shot.
My 2. Coordinated attack. Bye.
Describe how you avenge your family.
Yes.
So the Red Drifter tries to aim his gun at me, and I go, "No, you're never going to raise a hand at anyone else again. We're going to make sure of that." And then I pull the trigger, and this is like a Barrett 50, right?
Yeah, it's like massive.
So the bullet goes through his gun, causing it to backfire into his face.
Yes.
You see, it just goes. You see, it blows his mask off. My ears are gone. It blows his mask
Blows
off.
his ears off.
You see, like the black like tendrils going up. They're getting worse and worse, and he screams and he just collapses to the ground, dead. You guys have defeated the Red Drifter, and in front of you. But I will say, you're on 1 energy now, Hendrix. So after you take that shot, it like cocks back into your shoulder. You drop to 1 knee, exhausted. What are you?
Yeah, I like drop the 1 knee. Like Kate is like just barely holding me up at this point, and then I just kind of tell her, that was all I had, but it's over. And my coat opens up, revealing a wound I had taken earlier. And because I got hit dead in the face with a grenade, so like I was just working on fury alone, right? And the swords, which were still lit, because they have the blades on the side, so they don't burn me when they're activated. They go out, and I close my eyes. I take one last sniff of the air. He's gone, and then I pass out.
You just exhausted, pass out. You
Rob,
guys see.
Rob puts on a hat and then takes it off in respect.
You see, as Hendrix falls to the ground, exhausted. This wound like pool. You see the blood pools and like hits the black like corruption liquid, and it begins to move the corruption liquid away. Like the blood is stronger and thicker than this liquid. You see this again, opaque glass shell. This like beam of energy just comes out and like does a sweep. It like scans the body of Hendrix. It's like, and you see like this little screen comes up and it goes, corruption level 0%, injury critical, and all of a sudden this begins to lift, and you see like thick smoke, like white smoke, like pools out as this like almost like giant test tube kind of like lifts up. And as the smoke moves and brushes away and it reveals the inside, you see this like floating, no legs, like a ball at the bottom, like a hover ball, and then 2 arms, very shiny, sleek looking like robot with kind of like this like silver like face, kind of like in a point, and just 2 eyes, no mouth, no nose or anything. And it kind of like moves out and hovers down, so it's just hovering above the air. It's about the same height as you, Rob, hovering, and it says, "Hello, I am HP. I was designed by the librarians to offer medical service.
Yeah,
This person...
do it. Help him.
All right. This person does not appear corrupted, so I am able to operate on them." And you see that it goes down, and like their fingers kind of like, and it's like all stim packs, and they begin to work to fix.
Rob awkwardly pats the stim packs in his pocket, forgetting they were there until just this moment.
You see that it begins to work on the unconscious Hendrix. As you see this, Casadel, you see that like this must be what this facility was building. They must have been, again, going through prototype and trying their best to find something to combat this corruption that they must have been dealing with way back when this facility was operational. This black liquid seems to be something that they were worried about. So they were trying to build this medical bot. The librarians are long gone, whoever they were, whatever this facility was owned by. But this robot can be used in Sanctuary to help people, to solve problems and to cure wounds. And you start to think that maybe if the Red Drifter had gotten this, probably wouldn't have shared this technology with everyone. You see that it's like, it's trying to repair Hendrix. Is like, "We will need to get him outside, but I can return him to consciousness." And you see that it like lifts Hendrix up, and Hendrix, your eyes begin to flick open. You can't like, you feel like pain and you can't quite move your body, but you are being cradled by this robot that, again, without consulting you two, just begins to move towards the exit of the chamber.
Whoa, wait, bring our tank back.
I make sure that if any of his weapons are, hear my child banging on the door. If any of his weapons have dropped to the ground, I like pick them up.
Cool.
And,
so you pick up Kate and you like hand it to Hendrix. Yeah. Hendrix.
I assume Hendrix is like unconscious, so I'm just holding Kate. So
yeah, he's kind of like, he's like slowly coming back to consciousness, but he can't like move his body or anything. It's just all exhausted.
I'm just following.
Yeah.
So Rob follows as well.
The two of you look good together.
You just hold a gate. You guys leave.
An old dog's dream.
You take this elevator up to the surface, and you look out at the vista around you. This long journey you've took, and you see, as hard as it was, and as much as it took an emotional and physical toll on some of you, you do seem to have salvaged a piece of technology that will be a great aid. And not only that, but one of you is able to achieve redemption. And that is going to be where we end this stream, this game, this one shot of the Hyperlight Drifter tabletop RPG.
Way, well done, Cam.
So much, everyone, for playing. Thank you, guys. You were absolutely amazing.
You did great, dude. It was awesome.
Thank you. Again, our first time playing this, so
that was fun.
Yeah, it was
very
real
fun
system.
Yeah, we went a little bit late, so I'm going to try and do this as swiftly as possible. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and watching. Thank you to my players. Thank you to Metal Weave Games. Check out this game. You can pre-order it right now, but you can also play this version of the game that we were playing as a playtest release. Please go check out Metal Weave Games, and you can do that. You can also, if you want to just see what the character sheet was all about, you can individually get the character sheet just by itself and just start clicking things and filling things in. You can do that if you want.
It is gorgeous. If anything, look at that character sheet.
Absolutely.
Like, yo, graphic designers, get on their level.
I like the functionality of it too. Like it looks great,
Yeah,
and it's actually really useful.
functional. It's pretty. It like definitely brings up the vibe of the source product. It's a good sheet.
Yeah,
100%. But I want to give individual thank yous. Again, thank you to Andreas and Metal Weave over there at their team for being so helpful for me when I was building this game. Thank you so much to my players. Thank you, Lo. Thank you, Moz. And a extra super special thank you to our special guest. Again, the dev for Tidebreaker. The RPG.
Get ready. He is about to put you on the spot again. Get ready.
Here it comes.
It's coming. It's coming.
The bow. Thank you to Nick. Nick, thank you so much for coming. Where can people find you?
Follow my blade on Twitter, tidebreakerrpg.com. If you like cinematic action, you like blending your little story games with your crunchy bits, then holla at your boy. We're on early access, $15. Come support me. Stop by the Discord, say hi. If you got any questions, come see me.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this.
Absolutely. This is really, really fun. We love playing with new people and stuff.
Just vamp for 2 seconds. There we go. I got a link.
So, again, you can find myself, Lo, and Moz over at Roam with Lag individually. I'm Cameron P. Morris. Lo is the Curious Lo, and Moz is at Moz Does Stuff. We're on Twitter. And we will be streaming again, hopefully next month with Roam with Lag, with a brand new game, with a brand new guest, and who knows what is going to happen. But thank you so much for watching, and we shall see you sometime soon.
Bye. Bye, guys.